no other shots being thrown. This kill would be massive if the shoulder fully gets thrown out there. Skurd, he's just gonna lock things up in the corner. Other two players for Elevator still hanging around the joint there inside of Wine, Allen.
I think Elevator are confused that Stalwart have not rotated over to try to assist onto Clove, who has backed off the site. Now they're going to get the info. Shots won't land, but that's information. The defense is rotated back over. Skurd's going to hang out a little bit longer while Reef hits a pinch. 1-for-1 the exchange, down to 45 on the clock.
It might re-dip that pinch as well. Susano's going to catch off Skurd as he was trying to get a little bit of an angle there through the middle of the map and counting the names, thinking that we know these guys at this point. Those are your A defenders. They might try to get back over towards A, but Stalwart have already rotated on this side. These two players got to hold.
FDX has to land. Oh, he gets a hit marker. Oh, and then gets flashed beyond recognition. Clove, Jai, last one's left. And Jai's stuck inside the underneath tunnel.
Man, Jai really thought that it wasn't going to be that case. He was going to go help out his teammates. 2v4, excuse me. And Clove's got the HSO shotgun. He would be the player to potentially find a two-piece if he could. Here comes the play. It's double stacked. Clove meets it. A little bit of tags, just keeping the defense back. But the trade comes out. Now to a 2v3. Time becoming an issue. Underneath 20 seconds to fight for. Susano hits once. And the angle is being watched. Jai is able to connect with a flash, but cannot get through the shotgun of PJ. It's 4 in a row for Elevate. I'd have to go back and like really try to dictate the understanding of Elevate. He got the information that the shotgun player is still playing inside of line. That's pretty normal. But the timing of not seeing anybody back through mid or the util back over towards your spawn, this is really interesting. I would have expected them to hit that site 30 seconds sooner. So here we go, in towards this aggressive fray.
Here we go. All gas, no brakes. Stalwart respond, though. That's the bomb down as you see us switch the perspective away. Chloe able to keep the play relatively alive, but the follow-up from Susano is shut down. Numbers early for Stalwart, but the play not over. Elevate snipers just not hit one.
You were saying?
Nothing. I was saying absolutely
nothing.
1v1 opportunity. Skurd, pistol out. Kendi playing for the objective. Skurd with the pistol. Bang! 1v3 for Kendi. Makes me shut my mouth.
Doesn't happen all too often, but it does happen every once in a while. Sniper's not hitting. Kendi's like, hold my apple juice, brother. I got you. Quick scopes coming through off of the bomb play. I thought that challenge with the machine pistol was going to be good. 2 points away now for Elevate to take a 2-0 lead in this series. And they're going to continue the aggression. I mean, when you go back towards their offensive side, the only value they had was the aggressive hit over towards A.
Go again! Susano says, that looked like fun, let me join. Reef able to find a couple, though, holding that back shop's position. Tags over towards tunnel. A little bit of trouble to secure the kill, but Clove will drop. 2v2, but no bomb. And STE get a read. Can't find the kills, though, and will reset.
It does tech both of them. They're going to continue to try to up this ante to try to recover this bomb. And then Ape comes right over the top and get that bomb planted and maybe try to play for the 1-for-1 position inside of shops. They would have enough time to try to re-wrap this all the way around, but because they're committing towards the side, are they going to expect the flank?
Pinch set up here for ST on the retake. Oh, PJ says not interested. Down now to FDX. PJ playing through shops with the boxing gloves. Are we kidding? Prize fighters hit hard.
All right, so it's good to know. Hey, Mitz beat shotgun. It's a very aggressive game of rock, paper, scissors, I'll tell you that much, but still able to walk away with that one. You go back and like the Odin versus another player in a 1v1 didn't go his way, so I mean, maybe that could have been the decision.
I think it's just I've got speed on my side.
Whoa! Nice shot from Jai, takes down Kendi. That's a big gun now gone from Elevate's offense. The Stalwart are looking to tie up this game.
Tough fight through flash for Clo. Punished. Stalwart showing some defensive aggression. Now quickly on the track back to stop the cut through A mid. Susano. Whoa, what a shot. Not going to get the second, though, as Jai is able to put him in the dirt. And now numbers for Stalwart, trying to get this to level terms. Oh, PJ.
Hey, he's expecting an immediate flank. What is even happening inside of line? He will die, but now we got ourselves a dead tie game in round 11. Stalwart are starting to crack the code of Elevate, trying to find their aggression or elevate over towards one of these two sites, but the trade game is just way too strong, and the rotations are even better. When push comes to shove, multiple players are stepping up. Kendi, not happy about being first blooded. We'll take it right back.
He's like, let me teach you something real quick.
because something about time.
Let me show you that this is not a 1v1 you're going to take every time. PJ clears out skirt down low, tags her in. Machine pistol follows as Yopi's there for the team shots. Elevate still hitting with aggression. Just a small variation of where it comes from. And now Candy takes away one of the clearing angles, leaving Klo in a 1v impossible.
And here's the shades of Elevate's former self. 2024 champions have fully arrived off of the aggression hit and being able to mechanically outplay their teammate, or their enemies, excuse me. Slides back, Klo gonna be showing his hand. He's gonna get pinched there by Klo in the end. So up to map point now for Elevate. Stalwart Esports, if you're new to watching at home, convert this upcoming round. We will go into overtime where we're going to be side swapping until one team wins by 2.
Yep.
So now what's the call for Elevate? Continue to aggressive hit over towards A because it's working out.
And Kendy's going to play a more passive angle. But winners want the ball. I know for a fact Kendy's saying, don't smoke my mid. I want to see what I want to see. And he'll hold that angle. He saw one player on the cross to B. That actually calls for nades out of the Elevate offense into the site. Doesn't look like any of those had landed, though. But Kendi still connects. Shuts down some aggression from FDX through the mid-cut.
It's already thrown some nades.
Oh, and they know.
Line. And it's one smoke through mid. But it covers off. What are we doing? So, yeah, Kendi going to try to go for the dry challenge. The moment that the smoke disappears, doesn't have the angle available. It's going to tie things right up here for a piece. Close on an island. Looking for a play down low here in shops. He's just waiting for his teammates to try to clear the rest of the map. But you don't have a smoke to re-clear this all the way through. PJ, did he get scouted?
I'm not sure. Doesn't look like it. But that's a freebie on Reef that does not get converted on. That's a huge mistake for Elevate.
Right.
So, yeah, you've got one player in the back of the site for Stalwart's defense, and that's Reef. Talk about what consequences could look like if he stays alive and finds another one. Here comes the pinch. Flashes are in, clearing the backside of the site. Yopi does he check the right corner? No, he doesn't. So Reef gets 2 for what should have been none, considering he was found. Skirt on the train. Now it's on to Susano, playing alongside PJ for the plant. Nade over the top. Doesn't look like it fully landed, but Elevate will be scattered on this post-plant setup.
Nate's going to clear down low in the stairs there. PJ, who's the player on the site. Susano's going to show his hand through mid. So now you know that there has to only be one player isolated on the site.
Here comes the stun right up the staircase. But the smoke for PJ gives himself a chance to play inside. But he gets a couple of tags into him, has to back away, and he will. Susano also, hit markers coming through. Down to 20 seconds of the clock as the smoke will fade. Do you have anything for Stalwart? Here comes the bait and switch. Susano hits once, PJ hits twice. And Elevate, come back into the map, find a couple in a row. Huge clutch ability coming out of Kendi to give him a chance, and now they're up 2-0.
Yeah, egregious challenges there through the middle of the map, being able to walk away with the gunfights. I'm sure it feels right back at home there for Kendi, winning the 1v1s versus Jai in the middle of the map. Enough to be able to swing some number favors, but still a lot left to be desired as far as these rotations and executes, if I really want to be nitpicky for Elevate. But they still win the map. They go up 2-0, and now they're in prime position to be able to march their way towards the grand finals. Can't write off Stalwart all the way through because their mid-round adaptations were absolutely electric. But still, Elevate there in the latter half, being able to slowly pick and prod this defense apart. The nades and the shotgun setup over at B. Look, at this point, I wouldn't want anything to do with it either if you can't find success with it. So try to go back to what you know, and that's Kendi with the LW3 Tundra, being able to find those picks through mid, lay util to be able to get back down low inside of the shops and tunnels, or where they mostly find their value, even with the bomb not being planted versus Q9, just hit over towards A. 5 minute. Sure.
Why not? Day one strat. Sometimes this works. What a play from Kendi. Oh my God. That is a backbreaker. As Stalwart now find themselves having to put together a reverse sweep. And the problem about that is not only are you going up against your rival, your inter-region big brother in a lot of ways that you have never beat in person face-to-face. But now you got to go to your worst mode on the weekend. The only bonus, if you want to even paint a silver lining, and even Bob Ross would blush trying to paint that one, it's on Crossfire.
That's right.
And it just has not been as convincing as you would like to see.
I've beat them a single time on that map mode combination before, but it almost feels like an eon ago. 13-11 out of Reef. Wasn't it enough? 13-9 out of PJ? Sure as heck was. That late smoke was so good. Just being able to have that piece of utility that late. I wonder if he just didn't even remember that he had it at the beginning of the round, but still, was fantastic. That crossfire control, man, it's calling. And Stalwart Esports really do need to lock in to whatever depth they could possibly crawl into, because it's going to be a slay game. We saw that with Elevate versus Q9. It's going to be a lot of trades. It's going to come down to a lot of no respawns remaining, and a potential for a lot of different clutch opportunities. The one thing with the crossfire still being left in this, if you're thinking about recency, even from yesterday, that was the map that they did lose versus Wolves, and they kind of got smacked on it.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, they absolutely got smacked on it.
Yeah.
To be fair, though, Wolves had, again, been baking their bread and eating it on crossfire control inside of CDM. So,
true.
You know, it is a different ball game when you're playing someone on their best map mode combo. But I still think that looking at the longevity of this series, you find a way to win this crossfire. You go to Slums, which has been one of your best hardpoint maps on the year. They have dominated there. Elevate, though, are no strangers to it. Again, that's why I sit here and say Stalwart just did not do the correct homework on setting up their vetoes. So, it's a tall ask.
It almost feels like some of these vetoes that you and I have been casting, you're just like, oh, you're never going to expect this.
Brother, it's like, I'm at a point, just like, get in the Twitter DMs and I'll do the vetoes for you.
No. That's bias with a U and a Y. You can't do that.
Literally bias. Give me money.
Opening offense here for Stalwart Esports. They're going to throw that wrench into the system, just try to get inside a bus stop. Elevate. They've dealt with this before, not even an hour ago.
Yeah. Rotated back over. Skirt's going to hang out a little bit longer while Reef hits a pinch. 1-for-1 the exchange, down to 45 on the clock.
They might redip that pinch as well. Susano's going to catch off Skirt as he...
Having a hard time locking down the HS shot, and Elevate have controlled the map tempo early, down to a minute on the clock.
So where are you trying to draw the line here? I was just hoping for maybe an easy opening to get at least one player on the A control zone to complete that first segment and get more utility out. But you're in such a good position. If you were close, gives away his life. Hold on a second. Elevate have done this way too often versus Q9. That A zone slowly being worked on, giving away too many lives for information.
Yeah, trying to play that crossing angle first for a re-execute first blood. But Stalwart have continued to get their shotguns deep through Broken, and now can make their way up to the corner. Wow, what a read. Hello. Susano, a little snap overhead, some team shots in the mix, so good comms from Elevate being executed on. Life lead still in favor of Elevate as they get this to a 17 plays 13, and it looks like they're going to be pretty happy, or at least voluntarily going to allow some extra ticks to be captured on this A zone. Not enough for a full capture, though, as PJ will step up and get some depletion going.
Only halfway down towards that depletion. 16 plays up against 9 is the biggest win condition, and PJ is firing and he is screaming. Finds his 9th elimination. Allows you open to get into a position to maybe win this 1v1, and as shaky as it was, it's still another elimination going Elevate's way. 60 seconds maybe added on towards the board, but Elevator's still hanging around, giving away a lot of lives. Luckily enough, PJ's able to combine for 2 and immediately stop that push dead in its tracks.
Yeah, this has been absolute, well, to use the word purposely, controlled by Elevate.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
I like that.
I mean, it's just, they are picking and choosing their battles very nicely. Even when it looks on the minimap like they're giving away too much space. Maybe they're playing too passive, playing that B cross.
Sure.
Life lead is a life lead. Doesn't matter how much time you have left. And now it's, where's Waldo? As Jai will try to force the hand of Elevate to come to him while everyone else is trying to charge up their ops.
Yeah, I mean, this is fine if he can try to get himself. This first segment could actually be influential if you think about it in the grander scheme of things. As fun as operators truly would be, Jai could also be doing the same, does have his War Machine already available, but segments could end up baiting out players into unfortunate situations, but they will lock that one segment at the very least while Elevate wanted to charge their operators. PJ getting away with highway robbery off of the initial B execute that Stalwart Esports were looking for, but that's just why you don't see that happen all too often, because a lot of the time you just get crossed up and then you immediately lose that life advantage.
Kendi looking for the long cross through ramp, sees the shoulder. That's enough for a War Machine to be earned, and PJ is ripping apart the defensive crosses through mid. There were no smokes there, because why would you want one there when you've got Annihilator and Tempest out? PJ, oh mercy, you think he's feeling himself? A little bit of over-aggression coming through, though, and Stalwart will battle back after the initial onslaught was successful for Elevate.
I mean, you got a 4-for-9 trade through the opening engagements and no segments of progression whatsoever. So it's the one thing that Elevate are normally good at, hopping on the objective off of a wave of gunfights. They do not do, but they do have space from those previous engagements that weren't won, plus a life advantage. Stalwart Esports do have a good position inside of Broken. Elevate are going to have to get past that cross. Smoke Grenade's going to be a little bit late, but they already have players over on the A control zone working on the second tech.
Yopi getting forward through Broken. Oh, good timing on this route. Does he get a second? No. May not make much of a difference, though. It's a 6-life lead, and the extra minute is looking very imminent. Kendi, nice shot. Klo holding close on the half wall at hold. That works. Has a shotgun. Sees Jai, and he wants it. He wants this 1v1. Flipping the map on him. Whoa, little wiggle, little wag. Slide, slide, slippery slide. Who's going to land the shot? No one at the moment.
What's happening?
Oh, goodness. 16 plays 9. Elevate still in the lead, but have not finished that A zone.
Benny Hill music really ringing on true. Skurd now has the Death Machine ready in tow. Got FDX ripping the Annihilator as well, trying to keep everybody out of reach, but ripping these operators you were hoping to find an abundance of eliminations. This time it's PJ and Kenny still picking things up where he left things off on the search and destroy, finding some snipes on the map. The A control zone will be converted.
You can feel the deflation right now in the room.
Yeah, I can.
Stalwart need a catalyst, need a spark plug. 5v14 though. FDX runs out of his Annihilator charge. Now has to rely purely on the scope. And Elevate are willing and wishing Stalwart into this web they're spinning up.
Just post up, see if you can catch any free kills, but Stalwart Esports hoping to do the same, and maybe they can bring them this one back, but it's not looking too likely. Reef Jai, they have operators. Maybe they find the pick. They could push it a little bit further forward. FTX misses the initial shot. He is dead in this round, as the rest of Elevate are looking to flush out where the rest of these players are all located at. And that's going to be an offensive conversion. It's not just going to be a 2-0 in the series right now, Alan. It's a 2-0 in the control.
Yep. And those are two very convincing rounds.
I'd say.
The mega giga Chad reverse sweep needed. Need to win 3 in a row in the control, 3 in a row in the map count if you're Stalwart. Otherwise, history will continue to repeat itself in a lot of ways. Not only will Stalwart not have an opportunity to take down their interregional counterparts, but there will be a rematch again between our 2024 grand finalists.
Equalizers out for Reef. Jai opens things up with a War Machine. A lot of it is nullified via the trophy system, and then Stalwart said, bet. I got gonna start pushing forward there with the equalizers once they knew where the trophy system was located at and just try to flush them out of all these eliminations. But Elevate, they kind of falter as far as the initial trades are concerned, but Stalwart, what's a life advantage if you don't hop on one of the zones?
Oh, Yopi with the quick swap finds another. And you're absolutely right. Trying to prioritize the spawn trap. The clock gets under 60 seconds, and Elevate have worked their way back into some key positions. Largely thanks to Klo with the Tempest to clear A. The rest of the forces of Elevate keeping their focus over towards Ice Cream, over the top of the heady, full force from Elevate. And you can feel it. They just know they're better. This is the old-fashioned hold W strat. We're just better than you.
Still only a 2-life lead. This is still doable for Stalwart Esports. The problem is they don't have any operators to back this up. Smokes are going to come through. They got FTX in a good position to try to get inside of the bus stop. He's just going to be playing the crossfire for now. Trying to wait for his teammates of Reef to get up close and personal. PJ with his operator will be shut down. A-zone's now going to get hopped. 30 seconds remain on the clock, and you need to convert this if you are SC.
Tempest pulled, but doesn't find anything. PJ re-clearing Broken. He wants more, too. PJ saying, I'm the MVP of the world. Let me show you why. Let me show you why. Third tick being worked on, but PJ is not done. And you can hear him coming through our mics. He is feeling the fire. 9 plays 6. Stalwart trying to work their way back. But Yopi's right there to follow. Now a 9v5. And the extra 60 seconds is going to feel like a victory lap for Elevate at this point.
Yeah, you just capture this so that way they can continue to run at you. 3 quick kills do come through. It's only a single life lead now that Elevate do have. Death Machines pulled. Clove also pulls out their Tempest. This is the last operators you get to pull out the World Championship, boys.
5v3. Make it V2. Skurd. Jai. Last one's left. And PJ is still hanging around. Yopi. Katniss Everdeen cosplay after Halloween comes through. Gonna finish it off! And Elevate Elevate, no worries, no problems, kind of, as they take a 3-0 versus Stalwart, and it's immediate redemption opportunity to go back-to-back as they will face Q9 in the grand finals for a second straight year.
Alan, you love yourself a good history book from time to time. How often is it to repeat itself, especially when it comes down to Garena 1 and 2? Still a lot of good esportsmanship being showcased in between these two teams. Stalwart Esports should still feel really proud of getting this top 3 finish, but Elevate, we've seen this before. They end up getting knocked down a peg, and then they just lock back in, completely eviscerate a team in any way, shape, or form. I like the word you used, deflated, because it definitely felt like that after round 1 of Control.
Yeah, and look, again, I'll take the L on the chin here, fam. I underestimated the Stalwart team. The mistakes were shown, though, and that's what we're looking at. When you go back and watch CDM Champs, you watch how Wolves play hardpoint. You watch how Q9 have improved for this particular event, and you watch Elevate do what Elevate has always done. That experience, though, reminds me a lot of Godlike versus Wolves in 2023, where they choked on Raid.
Yes.
Control.
Where it's just like,
we need to make a decision, we need to make a decision, and you just get so lost in the moment. The frenetic pace of how that map was playing out, you make a bad choice a couple of times over, and that's where your opponents who have that veterancy really are able to showcase how good they are. So yes, that Hacienda hurts. Yes, the 1v3 from Kendi on Coastal hurts, but there is no doubt that Elevate had the edge in the Control. Now they're back in the Grands.
I mean, I was so locked in watching that in the back, I almost didn't make it back out here. I mean, Elevate were putting on a show, and now they have an opportunity to try and redeem themselves. They got knocked down into that lower bracket. They survived, get that second spot in our grand finals. And I don't think they're going to let it be another 3-0 this time, you know?
More than likely not, considering how warm their gunnies are at this point. I mean, PJ able to have a bounce-back series. You also have Yopi coming back into his own. All the statistical numbers that we were throwing away here with Puckett. Like, that's the team that you're expecting to see out of the Elevate region. This is, or out of the Garena region. This is exactly what you expect almost to have happen when Elevate do play against Stalwart. Again, online is a completely and utterly different story, but Stalwart never beat Elevate online.
Well, I'm excited to hear what they have to say after making this comeback, and I know Ian's standing by on the stage, so let's see what they have.
Thanks, Glitter. What a comeback this is. When you think about it, a 3-0 defeat in the upper bracket final, to come back and do exactly what their opponents did to them here in the lower and progress right back into that grand final is an incredible achievement. I'm standing by with PJ right now. You look, we could see at the end there, you guys are all good friends, but you do call them Lil Bro, and it feels like you Lil Bro them a little bit there.
Just for the banter, yes, but outside the game, we're really close friends. We hang out a lot. So I would like to say I'm sorry we couldn't beat Q9, and we will win this grand finals.
I mean, what a run it was for them, and there it Jenny ends right now. Stalwart are now out of the competition. Now it's all about you looking forward to going back into this grand final, a rematch of last year. What do you need to do differently from what just happened literally an hour ago?
An hour ago against Q9, I think we're really not ourselves mentally. You guys can see the comebacks, and I really think that that's our fault. Our mental is not that good at that time, but right now, after winning here, I think we're confident that we can take on Q9 at full strength.
Your mental was incredible on map 1, you know, and on hardpoint. 250 to 249 was the final score, the closest game that we've had this week so far. Do you feel that that's when you broke the opposition and you knew you were going to win from that point?
Yes, because I always believe that God doesn't give us obstacles that we cannot overcome, and that hard point was the turning point for our team. Our mental was great. We said that we're not going home without the trophy.
Well, there it is. And look, before we look ahead, and you now go and join the rest of your team to get ready for this grand final, there's a player I know that you want to give a shout out to.
Yes, he couldn't come. He's from Wolves. I would like to say thank you, Rice, for the jersey, and I will win this championship for you.
I love that. Thank you very much for coming up here and speaking to us. Go and get ready for a crucial rematch that is coming up very shortly. Congratulations to PJ. Congratulations. It is Q9 versus Elevate once again in the grand final. A rematch for the ages. It's coming up soon. Back to you on the desk.
The sportsmanship, the wholesomeness and honestly confidence. You heard it, like after they were able to close out that hard point, which you guys were going insane for, by the way, that just kind of reset their mental entirely proper. And I'm not surprised that that's what did it.
I mean, when you get that close down to the wire and you have, what, about an 80-point deficit and you swing it down to 20 and you somehow are flawlessly winning executes, going back over towards P3 where nobody probably should go. Yeah, I'm going to be feeling pretty darn confident as well. Their gunnies looked amazing throughout the entirety of those last 40 seconds of the hard point, and that was a continuation of the rest of the series. Confidence, to say the least.
Yeah, and you know, PJ's pulling on heartstrings.
Right.
Not just for us, because that's a really wholesome moment, but like if you're Rise, do you want your region to win a championship or do you want your boy to win a championship?
That's tough.
And he's got to be sitting there like, I'm feasting both ways, like popcorn on two hands. I got kettle corn here, I got overly buttered movie corn over here. Let's go.
Well, now we've got our grand final set.
Yeah.
We've got a little bit of a rematch, what we saw in the upper bracket, but you heard it here first. It's going to be different this time now. They weren't in the right mental space, and now, like you said, their guns are going to be a little bit warmer. Q9 did watch all of this go down, so tell me your thoughts. I'll start with you, Alan, on what we could get out of this grand finals.
Yeah, I think that this is, I hate to keep doing this to you guys at home. I think this series is determined by the vetoes, legitimately.
Yeah, well, yeah, sure.
Legitimately. We saw Elevate miss on the veto process in the matches versus Q9. We saw Stalwart miss on the veto process here versus Elevate. If you're looking at this from the Green team looking to go back to back, they need to be polished because there is a one map advantage for Q9 coming out of the upper bracket, which means no mistakes are going to be allowed.
And what about you, Proper?
I mean, you lose the opportunity as far as the map veto advantage is concerned going in towards this best of 7. Let's not forget about the advantage you do get from the winning bracket side. So, I mean, you're kind of having to still play against the uphill battle that is going to be Q9 in all of these different maps. I am going to agree with Alan that the best of 5 map set needs to be as good enough as possible to not try to square up versus Q9 on Cole. So that was, I don't want to see that again.
Yes, sir.
Well, you guys did a fantastic job in both of those series. Thank you so much for lending us your voices and your passion. It's time for us to prepare for the grand finals of our Call of Duty Mobile World Championship. So we're going to get into that. And when we return, we will crown an international winner. They will etch their name in the history books of Call of Duty Mobile. You're not going to want to miss it.
A próxima agora é UP. New. Next.
For Yopi, I chose the emoji muscle because he looks muscular and he likes going to the gym. Then for me, I chose the emoji of a brain just because I think I have a great mental in terms of in-game, outside. I think I have.
Ah, tá. Uma partidinha aqui, depois nós voltamos. Falação da porra. Crai, não vai ser mesmo. ué. Mas deu.
Airdrop incoming. Airdrop has been delivered. Half of the players are eliminated.
Ué, cadê a fumaça?
The safe zone is collapsing. Airdrop incoming. Airdrop has been delivered. Airdrop has been delivered. Airdrop has been delivered.
Porra do L, velho. gente não tá pegando esse cara, velho. Então não acho não. Nossa. Puta que filha da puta. Desce, 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 miséria. Pega errado depois por cima aí. Levou aqui não, eu nem preciso onde levou aqui não, fodeu. Fica merda aqui dentro. Ah, peguei tirolesa errada.
Buy station is unavailable.
Pô, carregou na hora. Opa, tem um cara aqui. O cara nessa tirolesa aqui, ouviu o barulho.
Airdrop incoming.
Porra, não morre não, velho, que mentira. Esse cara, velho. Ó o sangue do cara, que mentira, velho.
Airdrop has been delivered.
Cara, eu vou tanto tiro, velho, não saiu sangue nenhum do cara.
The station is collapsing.
Isso é uma lixo de 25 de dano. Vamos voltar lá pro torneio.
Able to clutch up on that map, that does feel like a weird one. I think the way that they played this though, Hacienda, Tunisia bans coming out from Q9, just box standard, getting rid of the best map for Elevate.
Any saving graces you could see here, Ton?
I mean, potentially the search and destroys for Elevate, try and get a route back in, but it's always going to be difficult up against Q9. We've seen it already. There were some close moments here and there, and we have seen Q9 lose some search and destroys this weekend. They haven't been that indomitable beast that we really expect them to be. They have had chinks in their armor. That could be something to potentially looking towards, but based on what we see in the first series, they're really going to have to step it up.
I feel like, you know, you also seem a little bit underwhelmed right now, Proper, at least with what we've got here for the choices.
I mean, look, when you lose that upper final, you lose any sort of opportunity to try to sway this best of 7 in your favor. So takeoff is gone. Crossfire is still there. And although you might see some semblance of heroics, you still have to try to get to the map 5 in the first place. You're already starting this 0-1 down. You at least get your Apocalypse, and you can almost guarantee that that Coastal is probably still going to go Q9's way, unless we see any other adjustments possible. But I just am really struggling here, Glitter, to see any sort of road for Elevate to be able to win this. It would have to be absolutely Herculean.
And you know, that was something I think a lot of people were concerned about it after watching that performance out of the upper bracket. It was a very decisive 3-0, and having to bounce back after having to then play through the lower bracket, come back into the same situation with, in Elevate's case, a map disadvantage. I mean, everything's stacked against them, and they now have to kind of fight through the mud to even get themselves back on equal footing with a team like Q9, as everybody home can see that reflected down there at the bottom of your screen. I think that this is going to be one of the hardest fought battles, Ton, that we will see all year long.
I think it was one of those finals that we wanted to see again, because Q9 definitely would have wanted another swing, especially the caliber team that they are coming into this, going up against Elevate. You're at least definitely not going to lose 4-0 this time. You get that map advantage. So
optimism.
Yeah, well, you know, every cloud and all that, but I mean, I think they'd definitely be looking for the win, especially after what we see in that winners bracket final. It's so good to see these two teams go at it again, though. They have undoubtedly been the best teams. I mean, look, I think a lot of people sometimes be like, oh, brackets this and brackets that, but both these two teams had to beat every everybody to get here. They've got the job done. Our best two teams are in the grand final, and that's all we wanted.
Yeah, and the thing is, I think for me at least, right, Elevate do have something in their favor at the very least. You've always kind of got that advantage of coming straight from a quick 3-0 in the lower bracket final against their compadres from Garena. So I think 100% you have some momentum in your favor. And I think the other thing as well here is the fact that that upper bracket final, it wasn't exactly the cleanest of 3-0 sweeps, right? Again, it was a 14-point hard point. You had to go to round 5 for the control. The Search and Destroy, even that being a 7-3, I think even that is just like, it comes down to a lot of 1v1s that you lost. You know, Q9 just kind of hunting you down later in the rounds, and I'm sure we'll have a deeper conversation about that later on when we do get to the Search and Destroy, especially, again, on Coastal. But still, I really do not think Q9 was so far ahead of Elevate that it's insurmountable.
I just don't really agree with that. I mean, by score, yeah, it was not close, but by so many different moments in time, like, they were just hesitating, like deer in headlight situations for Elevate. That's not what you expect from a 2024 world champion MVP of PJ. Rectified that in the lower finals, but now you have to somehow remember that going in towards this series, because they had a plan going in towards it, and Q9 smacked them in the mouth. And you know what happens when you got a plan and get smacked in the mouth, Brody? Well, you completely fall on your butt.
Yeah, listen, look, it's minor things, ultimately. You know, we talked about that Search and Destroy, and I talked about Susano and Kendi being really the key power players for Elevate. And it's minor things like that. Like, if you're drawing the first bloods, like, the things are going to go in your favor. Honestly, I think if things were cataclysmically wrong for Elevate, they would probably have not lost by 14 points in a 3-2 round 5 control. Like, and I feel like those are pretty close games.
And spicy. I love this. No, this is great because it really does come down to those minute details. When you're at this level of the competition, you have to be paying attention to every small slip up, every single time they pretty much do anything. You know, how was the operator usage? Was everything timed well? Is it what you're looking for out of a championship squad? Well, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for us to find out who will be crowned the Call of Duty Mobile World Championship. Let's get into it.
Apocalypse Hardpoint is what we start on, and these two titans going up against each other for the biggest prize, the crown of the Call of Duty Mobile World. And when you look at them, Brody, this is kind of what we expected. We thought Q9 could make that run, elevate the defending champions. Can they do it again? Or can Q9 get their revenge for last year? Into Apocalypse we go. Let's get it on, I think Alan says.
Yeah, I don't think we say it with such spice as Shift does. But yeah, for sure, this is a crucial matchup here. I think for Elevate, again, really looking to continue that momentum from what happened in the lower bracket final. If you can come out here with a map #1 victory over Q9, really set the pace and get Q9's attention early on in this series, well, you got your foot through the door. That's the start you want.
And I think something I just want to allude to as well, what we've seen in that loser bracket final, convincing win for Elevate, comfortable across the maps, apart from map #1, which was a single point. It would have been nice to get that on the board, but Q9 are going to come in here with the same fire we've seen in that winners bracket final. Kill feed's starting to look a little bit better for the Chinese team. They've got those rotations over towards P2. We're going there in 20.
Yeah, and I think the thing at the moment for me is Q9 aren't really doing all that much or really being stressed by Elevate in terms of that rotation, right? And they're not really sending anybody through that left box side. All this pressure is going through P1. Of course, the flip side to that is that ultimately Elevate have managed to get 10 to 15 seconds time they otherwise wouldn't. Charlie's almost immediately going to clear space through the middle of the map, and that's going to send Elevate right to try and break P2.
Yeah, that's going to put you in a bit of an awkward position. The push through cave is going to come through almost immediately. Clo's going to be here to try and find that break, but it's going to have to be one-dimensional from Elevate. They haven't been able to make any inroads on these spawns. Tempest out from Curly already. Thankfully, from some of his really good work through the middle of the map. Few kills go Elevate's way, but it doesn't matter if Curly is just going to like 5 of you up. Tempest play on point, Q9 in control.
Yeah, just Curly making plays like that haven't really made the difference for Q9. Again, goes back to that conversation we had previously, really in the green room. Everybody has been firing on all cylinders for Q9, but the other thing that they do so well, Ton, beyond just individual performances, is they really know when to stack all of their utility in towards a hard point. They know the value of an early advantage, but unfortunately, when that doesn't work out, you lose a wave of gunfights, well, Elevate can break you.
A lot invested here by Q9. I think we've seen nearly every single streak trying to make a difference, but Elevate barge their way through the front door. Link can find one. If Eventually trying to find a way back through. Those close spawns will help them to do so pretty quickly, and they will stop the bleeding. But I think for Elevate, that's a minor win, to be honest with you. Not in a good position, lots of streaks against you. You stop Q9 from getting every single second at P2.
Yeah, 100% right. I mean, you force utility out early on. I think the kind of the idea for Q9 there is to gain a massive dent into Elevate, right? The snowball that we always talk about. A 70-point lead early on would have been humongous, but no, now that's just down to 25 or so, and Elevate, they have a good look at the next hill.
Q9 are good at breaking from this side, though. We've seen it time and time again. A lot of operators coming in though, from the Elevate side, and Chloe right now with the equalizers out, starting to farm them up the spawn. He'll flip them around for Elevate, and it was a little bit worrying, to be honest with you, after seeing P1 and 2, seeing how Q9 are setting up, seeing the streaks come in, but Chloe is just easing those worries a little bit. Susano can come in and plenty being thrown over towards Q9. Elevate investing a lot, but they're getting a lot back for it.
Yeah, I just think the subs right now are firing on all cylinders for Elevate, right? Chloe in particular, I think at 12 kills to his name at this point in time, firing through the middle of the map. He'll finally get shut out off the back of a streak. So Elevate now potentially open the door with 20 seconds left on this hard point, but Q9 feels a little bit individual. Mauchi on the trade as well. Yoppie for a couple of kills here. Time Elevate, they are holding this hard point. This is a notoriously difficult hill to hold.
And they managed to actually lose the spawns, though. Q9 have managed to get a flip there. I know they're not necessarily that sticky, so the rotation over towards next is going to look a little bit better for our Chinese team. But the scoreline for Elevate, about a 20-second lead as we head over now towards P4. Spawns out actually for Elevate over towards the cave side. They're going to have to look at a couple of different directions if you're Q9. They can do with this time, though, because the bleeding is starting to get a little heavier. Yoppie can find a kill to find a way through, and is that going to be the catalyst for Elevate to find their break? Not quite. Q9 have found a way through, but Chloe will get taken down, and it's seemingly going to be Q9 in control.
And the problem for Elevate there is, despite some heroical kills coming through from the likes of Yoppie, Elevate just spawning all the way out on towards Temple side. Q9 got those close letterbox spawns, and now they're able to invest in towards this hard point. This is notoriously difficult to break, especially when Uling is staring you down with the equals.
It's had a quiet game by his standards. Looking to try and step things up here for the team, but everybody is trying to do their jobs. He'll find one on the outside, can't quite get through Chicken Coop. It will be shut down by Oling and trying to find a little bit more as well. But PJ and Susano doing well. 15 seconds to play full Cloud. Just trying to play as sneaky as he can. But it's been back and forth on this hill, but it's been mostly Q9. Elevate trying to find a way through with 10 seconds to go. That's going to be the end of the first rotation, and there is very, very little in this game.
Yeah, 100%. Elevate now just trying to effectively contest things to make things even, but really we're splitting hairs, right? With a 3-point difference between the two teams. Yeah, this has been a phenomenally close game, incredibly back and forth. Both teams have been able to steal time away from the other on crucial hard points. And now we do go into that second set. Q9 last time around, they were very good at holding that P2 set, but Yoppie wants to break it with the Sparrow.
Managed to find 4 there. Really good job from the side of Elevate to start getting some time in. Honestly, I think if I'm happier of the two teams out of the previous rotation of hills, I was probably going to be the side of Elevate. They were the ones who managed to bring it back after not a great P2, and they're starting to put the pressure over towards P2 now. Elevate trying to find a breakthrough. If you're Deixe, you've got to find plenty of Mauchi. Is going to be there alongside of him. 3 big kills coming on through. Elevate getting time. Q9 still in control of the spot.
Yeah, the idea at the moment here for Elevate is try and make as much distraction as possible through the middle map, of course. You know, you need to draw attention towards the middle of the hard point, and if you can soak time, that's great. You are trying to get players through letterbox to those P2 spawns. They've done it a couple of times already, but they can't get these kills around the back.
Well, going to find one over towards the backside, and that's the equalizers invested for absolutely everything you want over towards P2. Elevate take the lead. Elevate have the spawns. Q9 are going to have to find a way through. I felt like Nightmare Fuel watching Elevate trying to find their breaks coming through cave. Eventually they find a way through. Are Q9 going to be able to do the same?
It is so difficult to break. You can do it in a couple of different directions. You can try and flip those temple spawns out. Of course, you can brute force through the front. There isn't that many operators to do so, though. Deixe, the only one right now for Q9, but there's the kills coming through, and there's the spawn flip.
It's going to come in on the other side as well. Kendi, he can find at least a little bit here with the War Machine. Was just trying to keep them at bay, but it's going to come in on the other side now as well. So Q9 have the opportunity to try and find a way through. 3 kills going to come through from Mauchi. Cloud will find 2 of his own, and that should be the break. Elevate going to start spawning out, but they'll be here pretty quickly, trying to find a way through cave, but the break is in. Q9 in control.
Cloud has just been that guy, of course. Q9's latest re-addition of the roster, we should say. He's been pivotal. There's so many different moments. That Death Machine, though, from Mauchi probably could have been a tad better. Nonetheless, Elevate, excuse me, trying to get in towards the hard point, but Q9 at the moment, they are just burning through them.
I'm trying to find a way through both these two teams. Not quite as strong at the hold as we would like to see. If you the ones that get that rotation over, you love to see a good 60 come through, but both these two teams have found a way to find a break. Move over towards P3 last time around. This was just a brilliant hill for Elevate. Not only did they bring themselves back into the game, they brought themselves into the lead. But this time around, it's going to be Q9, the ones initially in control, as the hill will start to pop. The Tempest is out, but you get done by the Sparrow. Yoppie will find 2, Yoppie will find 3, and that's going to be the break for Elevate and some time on the board.
Yeah, I mean, that is the one-for-one trade, right? You take a massive operator like the Tempest out of play with your own, and that is everything. So Elevate starting to get a little bit better now on the one-for-ones with the operators. They have control of the hard point, an opportunity here to really start to gain an advantage in this game.
And straight away after that, we say Uling just completely lose the equalizers, finds very, very little. His team drop around him, he tries to make the play. It does not work. I think I'm going to go back to something you said earlier on. It feels a little one-by-one from Q9 right now. It feels like they're trying to do everything they can. They need to work as a team. Elevate in control and doing just that. 20 seconds remaining here, over towards P3. The push is going to come through here from Q9. They will not find a way through. Elevate starting to run away with this game.
And now Yoppie has that EMP, so as Q9 start to cycle into their operators, that is going to be an issue. They're going to have to get it done with their gunnies. Something Q9 have been so good at is just basically dumping operators into a hard point, maybe 3 at a time, and gaining a full 60 off the back of it. They can't do that anymore while that EMP's in play.
They'll run out by the time we do get over towards P4 in a few seconds at least. Anyway, the gunfire was coming through from the side of Q9, but they have nothing else to help them. Yoppie will find the break. Elevate seem to have found a different gear from what we've seen last time around, but the kill's starting to fly over towards the side of Q9. They'll find a way through. Elevate not far away.
Oh, the Elevate thought they cleared the hard point, but no, Cloud stay back in towards the backside. Then he's able to whip out War Machine almost immediately to start raining Hellfire down upon Elevate. Now it's Q9 back into the hill.
DGen will find 2 on the outside. How on earth have Q9 managed to find that? Cloud gets a way through. Susanna will find 1 with the War Machine, spraying through the smoke, not finding a great deal. And DGen, he'll find him, but the nade over the top from Yoppie. That's very, very solid, as is the gunny. 2, 3 he'll find, but everybody sending everything in the kitchen table at this one. Q9 spawn out, Elevate spawn in. It's still 50-50.
Yeah, that's a great Sparrow, of course. Yoppie getting a bit of a wayward spawn there. Yeah, Elevate spawning on the other side, meaning that Q9 weren't really looking for him, and he will convert for some serious value off the back of that Sparrow. But as we get into the 3rd and final set of this game, Ton, it really does feel like that P3 from Elevate, where they're able to get a ton of time, that has really made the difference. They currently have a substantial advantage, and they've proven they can break those spawns for P2.
The door's being blown wide open. Q9 this time around need to hold P2 just that little bit better. They're starting to lose a couple of gunfights though over towards P1. 45 seconds or so remaining here. Elevate can just about win it at P1. They'll do well to do so though. Q9 finding their way through. These spawns still a little bit flipped, but Elevate will start to get them over towards the backside, but still 40 seconds on P1.
One player being a nuisance, of course, Sid Suling behind enemy lines. They weren't checking for him. Now he is actually going to go back for P1 here, I think, realizing the importance of the 30 seconds of time instead of the importance of the spawn flip. At this point in the game, you have to close that lead.
I mean, if you go away from the first rotation, you have operators that try and help you find that break. They managed to use them very efficiently last time to do so, and they're efficiently getting time over towards P1. Elevate will find a way through, but Q9 have got spawns, 14 seconds to go. DGen, he'll find 2, and all of a sudden, Mauchi, can he pick up the pieces? Not quite, he will fall. It is fast and frantic to kick off our grand finals of map number 1, and it's getting closer as time goes on. Elevate's still in the lead, but the rotation belongs to Q9.
Q9 in control of P2, a big hard point. Investing now are going to be Elevate. This War Machine could be huge. Finds a couple.
And he managed to find a way through. PJ will be the linchpin that just helps him out as well. Spawns are still over towards the backside. So now if you're Q9, you've got a slight pinch potentially on the cards. You can see 1 kill comes through on the other side. Can everybody else from Q9 start to find a way through? Seemingly not. Elevate in control there, 25 away.
Oh, PJ is here towards the back line. Hunter Killer Drone will go out towards the air. Elevate, they are just 20 seconds away, but the split spawns from Q9. That might disrupt things.
15 seconds or so now. If you're Q9, you got to get going. 30 seconds still to play for here. They will find that break, and this will be valuable time. They're not going to be too far away if they can hold on to the rest of it, and that's what they want to do. Pushing forward is Curly, who can find plenty, but the utility from Elevate is so good. Q9 still in control. Doesn't look like Elevate might be able to find a break, but so much investment having to come through from Q9. Elevate will find a way through. 10 seconds to play for. They can't win it here, but they will be in touching distance by the time we get over towards P3.
Yeah, and Q9 had to set a couple of bodies at that hard point, right? You can't really afford to just give up that time, but Close immediately going to invest the equals in towards this rotation. Players already down. Elevate looking for the final few.
And they managed to find a way through. Inside of the point they go. It pops in 2 seconds. They're finding the gunfights. Kendi finding everybody. Elevate finding map number 1. And the advantage is gone.
Já, ficou doido. Se emocionou, hein? Foi emocionada a gordinha.
Getting swept up in the upper bracket final.
Foi farpar os
You
caras.
win your lower bracket final in the exact same fashion, even more dominant fashion, you might say. You needed to start this one strong, and that is, well, just the ticket, isn't it? Phenomenal hard point, really, from Elevate. So many crucial rotations are able to steal away. And even that one towards the end, just teamwork, absolutely on point. Man, what a phenomenal map from them. But it was pretty close, I think, pretty much always throughout that game. A very 50-50 affair. But really, I think the turning point for me, Tom, was when we got to peek through on that second set. We started to see Elevate gain a 460. Then they were disruptive towards the next hard point as well. I think it was Yoppie that came out with like the Sparrow that got 3 kills. Completely made things tumultuous here for Q9. And it never really felt like they were able to call back into the game.
It definitely felt as if when casting it that Elevate had their moments, a little more so with the operators. We didn't see typically that very efficient play from Q9 that we're so used to seeing. I mean, Al Ling, multiple times we've seen him pull the equalizers out, find very little. And that is not like him. It's not that they rely on him doing that, but we know how good Q9 can be with these operators. All these top teams are. But then that's the problem. If Elevate are bringing their A game, if they are being efficient with their operators, if you're not doing the same, you lose the game. Elevate will take the first map of this grand final. Q9, of course, did have that advantage, but as mentioned, that has disappeared.
Yeah, Yoppie, of course, the guy that I gave a shout out to. I know a lot of will go PJ's way, but Yoppie, 48 kills for him. Again, that Sparrow play might well have changed the tides for Elevate. And again, I kind of mentioned it in the middle of the game, right, Tom, but something that Q9 do extraordinarily well is the fact that they're just kind of able to kind of triple down on operators at any given time and completely change the way that a single hard point is going to go. I never really felt like Elevate were kind of letting them do that apart from maybe the early game in that moment. And even then, I think it was the P2, right, where we were talking about Q9 investing, what was it, like 3 streaks pretty much right out the gate to garner control. Elevate didn't let them have that.
I mean, I looked in the top left corner, and obviously that's where you get your information of when all the streaks are coming in. It was like Hunter, Killer Drone, Predator, Missile. Everybody was bringing it. I mean, the artillery was in. And they couldn't stop them finding the break. And I wonder if that is one of those moments where you're like, oh yeah, okay, grand finals, look what we did to them in the winners bracket. We're starting to storm through. A little bit overzealous from Q9, and ultimately they do get punished. And you know what, I liked PJ started giving it to them straight away in this grand final and get in their heads. That's what they'll be looking to do. And I think they will be in their heads now, especially if that 1-0 win, that win there in the 1-0 advantage just gone. Finding that Apocalypse is going to give Elevate a significant amount of confidence. So just one thing I did want to touch on there, though, and again, I try not to lean into the kills, etc. It's far too much, but going over towards the bottom side, the very bottom of his team, that has not happened all weekend long. As far as I can remember, at least anyway, he has been that guy. And if he's not performing at that top level in this grand final, that is a bonus for Elevate.
No, listen, I'll say this much, and this isn't me necessarily defending Oling for that performances, but I will say Apocalypse, not generally speaking, an AR heaven map, is it? True. So not really built for him. Coastal, maybe they will have more of a chance. Of course, this is another map that we saw back in that upper bracket final, and this is the only one of the 3 that Q9 were able to take convincingly, and even then, I mentioned it very briefly in the pre-match segment, Ton. It did really feel like kind of small, minute changes to the gameplay style for Elevate, and things will change. I think notably here, Susano and Kendi have been crucial to the success of Search and Destroy for Elevate. If they can start hitting those snipes a little bit earlier on in the grounds, they will be perfectly fine.
Q9 on the attacking side to kick things off, and D-Chen will find Kendi almost immediately. So now Q9 have that number advantage. And what are they going to do with it? Well, run with it. In towards B they go. Do they know that Yoppie's here? Yes, they do, but can they do anything about it? If they can find a second, it'll be massive. Yoppie goes huge. Can he find the third? Can he hold it down on his own? D-Chen will have to back down, but he's given his team time to get over. He will eventually fall on his sword, but damage done. 3v2 for Q9.
Oh boy, and it goes worse as well, doesn't it? What looks so positive by way of Yoppie in this round has fallen very much apart. Now Susano, in behind enemy lines, has to penetrate a site that is so difficult to do so. If anybody can do it, it's him, but he's already made his position known.
Needed to catch somebody off guard and then somehow find another. It's still very difficult. 1 versus 3, it's not possible. Never mind. He come around the corner and kind of counteracts that idea. But the win will come through. Yoppie did really well, but the rest of Elevate find themselves coming over, and Q9 are well aware. They're set up already and waiting for them.
Yeah, I think at least one player there in that situation kind of got caught out in the middle of the map on the rotation, and the others, I think one was taking a really long time. I think it was Sudana, the last one alive. And then, of course, towards the back line as well, Elevate just did not get that fast enough to help out Yoppie. So, despite the heroic play play did not go their way. In this round, though, what I wanted to see happen has already done so. Susanna with the first blood, but it's already been neutered.
Yeah, they put a lot of pressure in over towards this A side. Ling, he can find one, but Kenny will take him down, but everything's starting to get traded around the corner. Curly will be the one to fall, sorry. Ling continues to survive. Munchie just nowhere near where Elevate may well think, and you just don't expect PJ to be there either. Reads him like a buck, and all of a sudden Ling is left now in a 1 versus 2.
That's got to be the sprint or something. Mauchi to be heard in that situation. Newling's only real choice here is the fact that you can get that bomb down. If you can bring this down to a 1 versus 1, that would be huge as well, but they're coming from different angles.
Reads one. So there's the bait. Is it going to be the switch? Yes, it is. PJ finds a few in that round and evens the odds almost immediately for Elevate. Nice round from them. They find the first blood that time and then find the round on the back of it.
Yeah. Big kill from PJ as well to take Mauchi out in that moment. That would have been a disastrous position if PJ would have gone down. Elevate able to hold the 2v1. Now, this round, first blood, big again. This time, it's Mauchi who's going to win it. And that's a big play to take on the board, because now you have less coverage inside the B site. It's going to force PJ to play a little bit more defensively over towards B instead of towards the middle of the map.
Can you find a pick through the middle of the map, though? That's what you're going to be asking if you can be.
It's bang.
Backs down, but here come Q9 straight through the middle of the map. Chloe will find Curly. They keep getting aggressive and Elevate. They're ready and waiting for it. Cloud was able to find Kendi. 4 versus 3. As Q9 still make their way over towards B. They do actually have control of that site if they wish, but Elevate are not far away. It might be just a bit of a war of attrition here. As you know, it's a little bit more difficult to defend from the mid side, but they're kind of setting themselves up well. Susano, though, will catch Cloud on the cross. And that makes planting this bomb just a little more difficult.
If you could get inside the bar, that would be everything here. Bomb's going down, so you're not going to stop it through the wall bang, but if you can get inside the bar, you can wall bang the back of the site. That's what you want first.
3 contra 3 já armaram, vão ter que ir lá pegar, só esperar agora.
And where really the first line of defense is. It's going to be Ling. Susano charles over towards that side and baits him in. Mauchi will take him down. And I think they got the call. PJ is back there as well. No need to challenge. Ling will hold down mid doors. And all of a sudden, PJ is left now in a 1 versus 3 impossible situation. Q9, 2-1.
Yeah, I'm a bit surprised there that Susano swung so wide with actually checking for a potential player like Mauchi in that situation. But yeah, I mean, really that kind of all falls apart by way of the fact that Yoppie fell almost immediately, right? You take a player out of the B site like that, it forces PJ to play close to the B site instead of in the middle of the map. Domino effect, Kendi has to play close to the middle of the map and makes himself exposed. A House of Cards all comes down. Q9, big round for them. This is aggressive from them. This is something we've seen a lot of.
Once again, can they manage to find this open and break? But Kendi is going to be the one this time. That was over towards the B side, though, so they've given a little bit of control over towards A, but the reinforcements are on their way. D-Channel trying to find a pick, and if you're Q9, do you reevaluate this push?
Yeah, I mean, there's already a lot of Elevate forces over here, right? So it's just like, why would you even bother at this point? You are going to leave one player to try and keep something going in this situation. Maybe catch any players that are trying to do anything cheeky, but in the middle of the map, that is a beautiful reposition coming up from Kendi, because now not only do you find a frag, you have the information that they are at the very least trying to make their way over towards B.
How much information was gained, though? Do they know that D-Chen is here? No, they don't. Cole will get taken down. Lines it up perfectly, and now all of a sudden, if you're Elevate, are you scrambling a little bit? Shots being fired across the board. If you, oh my god, he nearly collapsed them. D-Chen's gonna get away, and here comes Curly. This is all on D-Chen. He's broken A open, all on his own. Continues to survive, eventually will fall on his sword. 2 versus 2.
D-Chen opens the door for Curly to get in through another line of sight. Elevate distracted, now down to a 2v2, as you say. All of it down from one area. Curly and Olin, they've picked their battle stations, they've picked their lines of sight.
They'll be hearing them.
And they will be hearing them.
And it goes out, trying to slow things down on the push up the stairs, but that's not where they're coming from. Ling did see the push on the other side, but is he going to wait for the other player to find a way through? He doesn't need to peek it, but he will. And Yoppie will be dealt with. Kendi will find one. Does the trade find its way? Curly gets it 3-1 to Q9. And that's a round. It doesn't feel like they should have won, but D-Chen finds it with a little bit of a route, finds the pick, finds a second, opens up the bomb site.
Yeah, that's just one of those right there where you just turn the attention of basically the entire team off the back of one kill. That's the nature of fast-paced Call of Duty Mobile, folks. D-Chen wins the round effectively for Q9. It's once again an aggressive push in towards A. I wonder how much information you've got here if you're a Clo. You die, but I think now you have that info, and that is a real unfortunate one, son.
Yeah, PJ trying to find the flank, and they actually just got super aggressive over towards the A side as soon as they seen Clo. He was marked for death. And Q9 will find a 5 versus 3 in their favor now, looking really good on this attacking side. As mentioned, these two did play up against each other on this map, specifically in the winners final. It was a 7-3 scoreline for Q9. We're heading in that direction once more.
Os caras dão mole de marcar logo os lugares de plantar a bomba.
Starting to formulate. T-Chen just having a little bit of a shoulder throw. Yep, he will find Oling though.
Plantar, marca os lugares.
Versus 3, making it doable. Very doable. 3 versus 3. Susano will find 1. Bomb will just about find its way down though. And Q9 will invite Elevate to try and come and defuse it.
And that is that spot right there, right? You can shoot through the shelves, get a player off the back of the bomb, but now it is a 3 versus 3. They know at the very least that there won't be a player towards that exact spot because there's no way they try that.
Who's the tip of the spear? Who will find the penetration? It's going to be Yobi that finds a way through.
Susano
will find 1 on the kill, but it's going to be turned around. Q9, can they get it done? Susano left in a 1 versus 1 against Mauchi.
Yes,
misses the shots, 15 seconds. Mauchi with the reach out. And Q9 in a commanding position at the 5. A stressful round for both these two teams, but it's Q9 who come out on top.
Susano thought that maybe Mauchi was weak enough that he would not shell that in that situation. Maybe he'd go back for a regen. He had 15 seconds on the clock, so both players had time to play with. But no, Mauchi calls his bluff. 4-1 now. Util through the middle of the map early on in towards this round. Not that much information really gained from either team. I think really the only information going up from either side at the moment is that Q9 here in this situation are looking for it.
Well, Susano's been tagged up the nose here. If you can find anything out of this, it is a huge, huge bonus. It should be dead right, and is. Kenny will fall to Oling as well. And now all of a sudden, Q9 have a little bit of control over towards the side. They have plenty of bodies, and Elevate are on their way over to try and stop the inevitable happening. And Spawn's going to go down, and Q9 are in a commanding position to take a 5-1 lead at the half.
And Elevate, I mean, they're kind of reduced to juvenile tactics, right? You got to shoot through the wall with the PKM and try and get some freebies to get back into the site, because a 3v5, it's incredibly difficult to retake, and now you're starting to deal with some creative plays from Q9 as well. They got up the ante.
BJ trying to find a way through. Elling will be the first point of contact around this corner. Who's going to fall? It's everybody on Elevate. It is a clean round. They'll find a 5-1 lead at the half. And 5 players on Q9 survived that round, and Elevate could do absolutely nothing to stop it. It's a wonderful attacking half out of the side of Q9. They move over towards the defensive side. What can Elevate produce?
I think Elevate has to do something creative. That's exactly what we get off the start.
Oh my god, straight away, we're just absolutely scrapping down the outside, and Q9 have blown them off the face of Coastal. Kendi left in his spawn all on his own. He's just thinking, where the hell have my team gone?
Oh, Kendi. This has to be spectacular. It might be. Oh, no. You thought for a second,
no,
maybe he can. Yeah, there's a microsecond there for sure. But yeah, I mean, that is a phenomenal round from Q9, right? I think both teams, right, Elevate, they need something like that. They need something really aggressive off the start to get something going in this S&D. Q9 read that perfectly and make the exact counter call. And now they're just 1 round away from blowing this out in an indomitable fashion than the upper bracket final was.
Elevate trying to find some sort of lifeline in this search and destroy. BJ may well just give them one. Archie will fall. He's been just a right pain in the backside, hasn't he? 9 kills already to him. PJ will find another as well. He's doing fantastic work. Over towards this B side, and it's actually players from Q9 getting too aggressive over towards him. Keldick's going to get caught by Kendi as well. And Elevate have the whole of B under their control. This would be a very difficult round for Q9 to win, but Owling will find one at the cloak, makes it a 4 versus 2.
And that's what I love about Q9, right? They're so reactive. This is something that benefited them earlier in Coastal Search and Destroy in the upper bracket final. You know, you lose a couple of players. All right, cool, let's go on hunting. Trying to take on a 2v1, even a 2 versus 2 to get something in our favor. Now there's a 2 versus 1 that at least makes this more manageable. Now the next task feels really gigantic, doesn't it? Because you have to penetrate the B site. All positions watched here by Elevate.
Just try and throw some shoulders, just trying to gain some information. Elevate are giving them very, very little. Finds a way through. Susano's going to be watching this cross. You need to find something. You need to find somebody napping. DJ can find 2. Just get himself inside of the side, but 2 players left alive. It was always going to be difficult. The trades are there. 6-2 now. It's Elevate. Potentially make this a little more interesting. Be some comeback if they manage it here, Brody, but 6-2 down is not a scoreline you feel confident about.
There's that information off the start. Util through the middle of the map here. It's aggressive once again from Elevate. This is what they wanted to do earlier on. They just have to find the first bloods, and well, they don't deal with the same kind of aggression from Q9 here.
Thunder is out here from Susano. Not expecting the push to come through. Oling can find 2. Kenny will find 1 back though. 3 versus 3. Bomb going down. Can Mochi stop it? You dare lift your head. They get on the rest of Q9. Actually, no, they're just not even waiting on Mochi. They're just sending it under the sights. And Oling puts the nail in the coffin of the search and destroy. And Q9 find themselves back in the lead.
I think that last round was just a perfect example of what has been going wrong. Coastal search and destroy for Elevate. And you gotta imagine they'd have had a chat like, hey, listen, this is where Q9 beat us in the upper bracket final. This is what we need to change here in the grand finals. If Coastal search and destroy makes it in again, which of course it does, and it doesn't really feel like they changed that much, if I'm being perfectly honest. You know, again, I mentioned that, I'm going to keep talking about it. It's never on 1 or 2 individual players. That's just not how this works, for sure. But when you're not winning your sniper battles the majority of the time, it's so difficult, and that is what makes Elevate special as a roster. They are such a well-rounded team, right? You have your SMG presence, you have sniper rifle players that can just shoot and win those first bloods more often than not, but you're going up against the best of the best. You're going up against the creme de la creme of Chinese Call of Duty Mobile. And it just feels like in that category, they do get outclassed.
It's brilliant work from Q9 though. It's just that attack inside though. I mean, 5-1 off the back of that. Incredible work from Q9. And it was always going to be a tall order to see Elevate come back and match that. Well, maybe you can go a step further. It was always going to be tough. But every single time that Q9 were working together, they were pushing together, it just felt as if it was inevitable they were going to find those kills. It was inevitable they were going to find a push. And Elevate just did not have the answer. Q9 absolutely cruising through Coastal and will find themselves in the lead once again.
And I think the thing that makes Q9 so special, right, is the fact that they do kind of have that pressure, that ability to kind of apply pressure in the way that they can with that kind of triple SMG setup. And I think that, you know, showed a lot on that map of Q9 just flying across the map pretty much constantly. They were constantly setting the pace, and they were constantly getting up in Elevate's faces. Just a real nuisance that, well, Elevate did not know how to deal with. Shout out to Uling, by the way. We talked about him not having a great performance back in map number 1. 15 kills in that 1 ton. That's more like it.
Yeah, not bad. I just hold them to a very high standard, Brody, and I think everybody else does as well.
That's fair enough, to be honest, mate.
And it is very fair. And Guy, just all week long has been incredible. I mean, as well, I think especially speaking to him and seeing his demeanor, of course, I mean, it's through a translator, but at the same time, you know, just like, trying to get an air of the kind of guy that he is. Seems like he's like a gentle giant, isn't he? He's such a nice kid, and then you see him start performing, and he's standing up staring at the opposition after he's just dropped 60 on their forehead. The guy's a killer.
I think my most vivid memory of Uling was after Q9 had won the Snapdragon Mobile Masters back in 2024, right? And one of the very first things that he did after winning a massive championship with a massive prize pool was he just started talking about the opposition. He's like, yeah, you know what, Lukashin's a phenomenal player. Just, you know, a massive respect for Lukashin. And just like, I think that is a perfect snapshot of his character. Not only is he good at Call of Duty Mobile, he's humble with it as well. But I don't know how long that would stay for, to be fair, when you get your first World Championship under your belt, because...
Yeah, we'll ask after.
Yeah, we'll see. Maybe his entire demeanor changes. But Uling is a god for a reason. He is known as one of the best and the most historic Call of Duty Mobile players of all time, and he does have a chance to get something that has eluded him his entire career, which is, of course, that World Championship. 2-1 up. In this series now, so next up we go to a control. And just talking about the controller run, I mean, it was a really close one, albeit that was on Crossfire. I believe we're going to raid next, I think, is map number 3. And, you know, I think it just comes down to little clutch situations. I think Elevate, we're doing a really good job at trying to adapt, trying to get map control, albeit that's on Crossfire, and maybe sometimes it's a little easier to kind of sneak players through than it is on raid. But still, Elevate were reactive. It's just that Q9 constantly got the better of them when it came down to those situations. So if Elevate can start to win some of those gunfights, maybe trying to push players through, this could well be their map and they can tie up the series.
Players have had a little bit of stretch of the legs. Honestly, the sun maybe touched some grass. I haven't done much of that this week, but I'm sure you at home who've been watching have not been doing it either, and I, for one, I'm happy for it. Somebody's going to be touching that trophy very, very shortly, though. A 2-1 lead.
Essa porra de ouro.
The Q9 currently. And Elevate need to try and find a way back. It just feels like the search and destroy. I know I was trying to allude to say, okay, well, maybe Elevate could find something because Q9, for all that they've been they're brilliant in search and destroy, so they have lost some.
Feio, hein?
It's not impossible, is what I'm trying to kind of allude to.
Yeah, and I think the key thing is right here is that it's worth saying that I don't think Q9 have really, outside of their group, been blowing teams out of the water in search and destroy, besides these two, at least, you know, from memory. I could obviously take a look at the stats and find out the exact answer, but I'm fairly certain that their search and destroy has not been as convincing, I want to say, as it has been previously. It's actually kind of wild that in a way their hardpoint seems to have improved dramatically, you know, over the course of this event. I think, you know, when we talk about CDM, there's a reason that when we talk about Q9, we never really spoke about their hardpoint. I think they were kind of very far behind, maybe like the fourth or the fifth best team in CDM and hardpoint. Obviously, you kind of got your stalwarts, if you will, not literal stalwarts, but you know, your wolves, your OUGs, your godlikes. Q9, we're never really in that conversation, but for this event, it feels like that's been a key thing for them. That and their coastal, they recognize that's where we need to get better. We can't just rely on our search and destroy to win championships.
Desliga o hack.
Just reminding ourselves of the maps and how things are working out. And for me, I'm just, let's try and do some theory crafting here, because I think that's a massive map. To find if you are Q9, in the sense that Summit's going to be coming up pretty shortly, but you got raid control next. Crossfire will go to again. That was a very, very close one, but if we do end on a map 6,
Crossfire e Raid, os dois são bons.
I feel like Q9 will be feeling really good about their chances now. I see a minimum of 3 maps that they'll feel super confident they can take.
I think the good news here for Elevate is that Firing Range is probably their strongest search and destroy map outside of Tunisia, which obviously got banned, so they couldn't play it in this best of 7. So that's something, at least, right? But again, on the other side, I think the thing that always makes me laugh about Q9, whenever we have these conversations about Q9, is like, all right, cool, so what is Q9's best search and destroy map? How about all of the above? Because they are just good at everything. There's literally only one map in the entire map pool that they don't really play that consistently and that standoff. Everything else, they've got a phenomenal record in across their CDM year. And so it's just like, there's very little awareness here. I think the biggest blotch on the record for this, and we just got to keep them come out of the conversation, obviously, I know it's a bit early at the moment, is that Summit hardpoint. I know that it was a 14-point game, so I know that Elevate can theoretically beat Q9 here, Ton, but just having it in is so difficult. It really does add an extra element of difficulty.
And I sometimes think that you see those 14-point games, but then if you went back and watched it, it was constantly Elevate trying to fight from behind. It was always them trying to put themselves in those positions. They had to make desperate plays, which brought them results. But sometimes when you're towards the end and you are Q9, you just need to really put a rubber stamp on that one. Sometimes it's not quite that easy. Just ask Stalwart, but irrelevant of that, Elevate have shown their presence in hardpoint, but they'll have to get the job done here on raid control. 2-1 down. If you go 3-1 down with the Summit coming up next, a lot of people will be shoving their money in one direction on this stage, and that will be towards the Chinese team. So Raid feels like a crucial one.
Big map to keep them in the conversation.
Acho que os caras aqui vão levar, os caras, os moleques são mais
You're
humildes.
3-1 down in a best of 7, and the next one up on the docket is Summit hardpoint. So Elevate, it feels like do or die time, doesn't it? It's time for the Marina boys to get things going, and it will be Q9 starting things on the defense here. Elevate have almost immediately swung themselves over towards B, and there's their trademark smokes.
Let's see if they can find something nice and quickly to extend that time. Just give themselves plenty of an opportunity to get a hold of A. It's been a decent enough start, though. Kendi will find a couple, and Susano does well as well. Control there over towards the B side. Cole will find 2 as well. This is a really nice start from Elevate. 2 ticks already in their favor.
Elevate faced with a choice now. Second tick already through. Oh, they did leave one player behind enemy lanes. Yeah, Uling was being a constant nuisance, and he converts for 2. The third's not there, but he makes the player weak enough that Mauchi can get that kill, and Uling makes a perfect play. I really thought that Elevate were going to hunt him down, but still, they just leave him.
And the thing is, they didn't necessarily hunt him down, and Uling just waited. I'm watching him on the minimap just sit around and wait for the rest of his team to collapse through Laundry, and it is a clean sweep over towards the B side for Q9. Now down the lives, 2 ticks for Elevate to kick things off here as well. It's far from a disaster. It's actually no disaster at all. You're going to get a hold of B. You've got a life advantage. They find a way back through.
O cara Costa tirou do cara e o cara levou ainda.
About a minute to that minute, and we have now 2 minutes if you're quick at maths to head over towards this A side. Lives still relatively close, but Elevate have a good amount of map control, and that's important. If you are Q9, you've got somebody on the flank, and that can maybe cause some problems, but a brilliant start for the Elevate side.
Now you're looking to make that transition happen. You are ahead by lives at this point, and well, there's the big kills. That's really unfortunate. Close, the last one left alive, and he gets wiped as well. If you're, I literally was at the start of the sentence. I was going to say, if you're Yoppy, try to play your life as much as possible, but he reveals himself inside the money window and is now dead. And Q9 now have yet another secret weapon behind enemy lines. It was Uling before, now it's Deixe. He's about to cause some carnage.
If I 1-2, it's a massive bonus, but good trade comes through from Klo. Drops down, takes him out, but information gained. They know they're going to be pushing through the B side, and all of a sudden Q9 have converged over towards this side of the map. 10 versus 10. That life deficit that Q9 had to make up. They managed that pretty quickly, and they've got a little bit more map control. Once again, Elevator heading over towards this B side, and once again, Cloud is there to try and shut it down. 8 versus 9. We're going to go down to lives, and it's going to start to get a little more tense. Both these two teams can start to slow it down. It's an 8v8 with 50 seconds to go.
Q9 have pushed up through that pool side as well. To elevate, their only option here is to flank, and Yoppy, he's already invested.
Sparrow's out, trying to find it through the money window. It's not an easy shot, even with the arrows that explode in front of their faces. Oling will find something. He's brought out the equalizer, finds absolutely nothing. 5v4 in favor of Elevate, and everything being brought in now. Susano going to make it a 4 versus 3 as Mauchi will find something. 25 seconds to go. He knows where Mauchi is. Susano just burning everything he can towards him, and also Cloud. He'll take him down. An Elevate have clutched up unless Deixe. Can he find the 1 versus 4? The first has been dealt with. The second, third, and fourth are capturing A. Smokes are down. It's an impossible scenario for Deixe here. He does have the war machine if he finds another. This could be tempting. And it's very tempting. It's very tempting indeed. But Klo will pull the Tempest and make sure it happens. Elevate, find round number 1.
That is a 50-50 decision on that war machine. You make it. And in any other situation when you pull that out, you get the chargebacks. You're going to get that out. He shot a bullet or a pellet or whatever goes in the war machine. He shot one. It's a grenade. He shot one. So he's not going to get that back for a hot minute. But guess who does have one? It's Kendi. And that's going to force Q9 almost immediately to one of the points instead of down the middle of the map.
And I think the only positive for Q9 in that situation is that the Tempest came out as well from Elevate. So you kind of take it on the chin, but it's do or die in moments like this. Kendi finding plenty with his war machine. Deixe will find something through the middle of the map as well. The kills falling their way. Oh my god, Deixe! Susano will fall as well. Not a fourth. Not quite. PJ stops that in its tracks, and then, well, gets stopped in his tracks as well. Tempest is out here from the side of Curl. He's starting to get aggressive over towards this A side. A little bit of kitchen control. They've got a hold of A. 2 ticks are in. And they may well get this one on the board nice and early. Shots going to start coming through. Curly trying to survive over towards the money side, but a lot of damage done by Q9 over towards A.
Yeah, that's the key thing for me right now is you've already got a lot of progression over by towards A. You can now actually follow that up with more as well. As long as someone just immediately jumps on the point here, this should be done. Somebody please get on the point. Yeah, they're about to for sure. And Elevate, I think, have also kind of resigned themselves to just giving up that point for the most part. They've sent Yoppy. That's all the investment they've made. PJ on the other hand is also going to clear out over towards the other side. He actually might be able to stop this potentially. Nope, never mind. A is gone. At the very least, he can get some exit frags here.
Annihilator out though, he can put the squeeze on, but only finds a couple. Deixe will find something over towards the B side though. Curly with the Hunter Killer, and now Mauchi's got his Annihilator out as well. Q9 smell blood in the water, and this has been a very clean round from them. B now on the cards. Kilo, he's gonna get taken down. Mauchi, we've seen this before. Kendi will find one. Mauchi now trying to even the odds. Plenty of players here for Q9. B is underway.
You got to go as well. You got to run headfirst into this Annihilator. You don't have much of a choice. Yoppy will find 2. First tick already through though. And Elevate, they will be able to hold it here, Tud. So Q9 now. 6 lives up, 90 seconds on the clock. They have time, they've got strats to work with. Elevate have to be careful about how fast they throw themselves at Q9. I know that they're known for it, but they do have to slow the tempo down by quite a significant amount.
Cloud trying to find something through the middle of the map, and I think if you're Q9 now, just try not to over-invest here. You want to try and get this done as cleanly as possible there. The trades will go your way. 12 versus 6. But you're not underway just yet, but you've got plenty of time. You're not panicking yet. Still just starting to trade these kills, and trades work perfectly for Q9. That doesn't though. Susano can find 2. A third would be monumental, but towards B we go. Curly is here.
Oh, Curly, only going to take a trade though. That's enough. You're opening the door now with 45 seconds, but 3 on the board here. Elevate, now they're back in. Cloud's going to get the DM out to try and swing the favor.
He has to find something in absolutely nothing. Susano goes off. How have Elevate pulled this one back? I was talking about it as if it was done and dusted. But Yoppie now with the Sparrow out. The investment comes through. Susano could not have done more. A 4 versus 2. Still plausible for Q9, but time is starting to tick. T-Chen, Oling, just trying to find whatever they can. Yoppie waiting at the top of the stairs and kicks out and down them. And T-Chen is wondering where are Elevate and where the hell has that round gone? Elevate find it 2-0.
Another 1v4 for D-Chen on the cards, and it's swiftly taken away from him.
Massive moment.
A huge moment.
Massive
and
moment.
You got to give a lot of love to Susano because he's been part of 2 key moments here, really, for Elevate being 2-0 up. Of course, back in round number 1, the double DM kill play really opened the door for Elevate to get back into that round. And then in this one, stopping Cloud with his own DM. Swinging the lives back in their favor. Susano, better give that big boy a hug after this. Q9. Now looking to get back into this control. Hunter Killer drone out towards A. It looks like Elevate, they want to send their players in that direction, but they have to get some more kills.
Feels like almost an air of frustration now from Q9 because they've had chances to win both of these rounds, and all of a sudden, they're 2-0 down. Elevate investing and trying to invest wisely with a bit of kitchen control. Yoppie will find T-Chen, but he gets taken down, so that's an operator just completely out the window. Q9. Very happy with that. Trying to get a little bit more control, but Elevate in a good position through the mid-map.
Absolutely are. Elevate are trying to get through this poolside, though. I don't think they particularly care about what's happening in the map. They're trying to force this. The problem is getting the player outside the money window is extremely difficult. Not when Curly actually nades themselves. He flies out. That's going to make things awkward. Mauchi, though, with the cross is going to make a player weak.
They find the angle, trying to as best he can, but he's got teammates to help him. Doesn't seem to matter. Yoppie will find that kill. They should be able to get rid of Clone, and they do. Q9 looking like a little bit more decisive. Finding the kills when they really do need to, and this is looking like no ticks for the side of Elevate if they're not careful. They're going to default and head over towards the B side. They get rid of Ruling as well, so that's potentially on the cards. D-Chen trying to survive. He can find one. Kills coming through in the middle of the map as well, and Cloud and Co. trying to stop this happening over towards B.
15 seconds on the board here. PJ trying to get the reinforcements out. And now you just got to deal with one more player. The thing that Q9 have consistently done is try to be a nuisance behind enemy lines. PJ's dealing with the reinforcements, so that player, he needs to find some serious value here. Q9, if you're going to try and take him out from behind, you've got to do it now. And Cloud's now on the run.
He gets taken out. There was no help to the team, and PJ is doing everything he can. That's 4 kills, 4 shots. Predator missiles on its way in. B potentially on the cards. Elevate just seem to be pulling these rounds out of absolutely nothing. Mauchi now over towards B, and he will slow them down. And with 5 seconds to go, it's still going to be difficult for Elevate. Making it very hard for Q9 to close these rounds out. Curly is just forced to actually bring in the Tempest. With no seconds to go, they've got to tick over towards the A side. They've got 1 player left there. They should surely get rid of him. There's 1 player just surviving over towards A. Is he going to actually extend the time here for your PJ? Felt like an eventuality for a long, long time that Q9 would get a hold of that. But Elevate, they just do not say die.
You know what? It is hilarious, isn't it, that PJ's response to that situation, let's just throw a smoke down and cause some chaos around the A zone.
Just buying time, right?
Just buying time. It's just what Elevate do best. They are the smoke team for sure. How about a nade team? 5 nades straight across the button here. Elevate, they've got a EMP ready to go, but they have to use it well.
That could be huge. Now people find a kill to kick things off, not just a kill, 3 of them in the middle of B. Curly and T-Chen falling to his sword.
Be advised, hostile
Q9 now going to have to default and head back over towards A. Elevate with a brilliant start.
I think regarding that EMP here, you want to use it in a situation where you've got the map control, you've got the opportunity to really close out the round and this game, prevent Q9 from stopping you with any of their operators. Elevate, starting to get their players up the board here. There's that EMP. Q9, they've got operators, but they are being chained behind their wrists right now. Only 1 player remaining on Q9. Elevate, they're starting to really drill the screws in.
Really good work here by Elevate, combining well together. Cloud will find Pseudo. Q9 will answer back to this. For all that, Elevate find a great deal of resource, a great deal of map control. They lose it almost immediately. Uling will turn around, he'll get rid of Susano, and all of a sudden, he can start to get moving on this attacking side. Uling starting to get kitchen control, and he wants a little bit more. Into money we go, and he can start to hold this down. The rest of his team need to do their job around the outside. They are doing it. A control looking like it's going Q9's way.
Oh boy, at the very least you take Uling out of the play, but now the problem is you're about to lose A, and you have to face that question for Elevate. All right, look, we've got a 4-life advantage. How much do we actually want to invest in this? We could also cycle into our operators ourselves. They are at the very least going to send a couple of players perhaps to get some exit frags, but I feel like A might well be gone.
Actually send a player down the driveway to deal with any players who are starting to push up into the spawn trap that potentially could come on the way. Cloud gets taken down almost immediately. Now Close starting to get aggressive. Mauchi waits on him. 10 versus 15. Elevate trying to squeeze as best they can, but they may well have to back up now as Q9 find a couple of kills and find a route out.
Elevate have settled out for the defensive B. 6 life differential here. Q9 down to their final 9, and again, that ever-present threat of a mountain of operators is still on the cards. 4 in the armory. And Q9, they are just taking their time. Worth saying again, something to keep in mind here is the fact that if Q9 continue to take their time, Elevate are also going to cycle into operators of their own. So this could be an operator bloodbath for both of the teams with 55 on the clock.
The team that needs it is Q9. Elevate in the lead. They will not have to pull the trigger if they just
Quando
can
os
defend.
bichos escondidos, o cara fala baixinho aí, tá?
May well
Eu
throw
ouvi
plenty at
ele.
them. Sparrow's out, just trying to close down some angles. Is that maybe a little bit of a waste from Yoppie? You can see Q9 starting to bring in plenty as well. Uling will
Cara lá em
fall.
cima, que não.
Not too sure if he brought anything in, but everything else has been brought in. Mauchi doesn't find a great deal here with the Annihilator, but the War Machine and the Death Machine are both out. Yoppie with his final Sparrow will find the pick. And now Kendi can start to bring it in. It's a hard task for Q9.
You really wanted more value out of that DM from Cloud, didn't you? And you don't get anything from the War Machine either. And now you just got to do it with your gunnies.
They can't find a way through. It's been an exemplary performance here on Raid for now. 3 versus 7 though. And is there maybe a way back through? Curly, Tempest, Nade, Cloud's dead. And that may well be it now. You could have done with that extra body even with a Tempest in hand. This is an impossible scenario. Finds 3 and will get traded. Elevate, find the control. We're tied up again. They will just not go away.
A necessary game for Elevate. They needed that, because it only gets more difficult from this point out. But also, phenomenal game from Elevate. Beautiful control, and I absolutely love. So it kind of felt like a Mexican standoff in a way, right? Towards the end from an Old West or something, where we had like 30 seconds or so. Both Q9 and Elevate, neither wanted to move. Oh, man, Elevate just looked like every single time we saw some kind of sensational operator play, potentially from Q9, they were shut out. Looking back towards that game ton, that most certainly did feel like the case. But I do have to give a lot of love to Susano, I think, particularly for the first couple of rounds at the very least, right? Because again, we go back towards that round number 1, and Susano got a couple of kills with the DM from himself, managed to get a couple of kills inside money window. That opened the door for Elevate to get control. And then in towards round number 2, it was the shutdown of the DM. That's been a big staple from Cloud in this entire tournament, really, that's made the difference for Q9. That gave them the win in round number 2.
Both these teams unrelenting though. Their wins are coming rather comfortably in this series. Every map is, well, it's not necessarily being one side, but again, I think I'll probably repeat, comfortable for both these squads. They are trading blows right now, but nobody willing to land that knockout just yet. That may well have been an opportunity now, because we go over towards the summit and you feel great about Q9's chances here. But if Elevate can change the narrative, if they can go back to being Elevate, that hardpoint team we seen last year, that hardpoint team we seen in the grand finals, then all of a sudden, if you're Q9, you're in a lot of trouble. And to mention, actually, Summon Hardpoint was a map in the series last year. And it was a win, of course, for Elevate. They won the series 4-0. We're going to be heading there again in what feels really like the crucial map that we do have left now, because you're thinking about the S&D towards the end. That is probably one that goes Q9's way. Summit, are you really feeling Q9? Do you think Elevate can bring it back? Let's remind ourselves of where we're going, because we've got a crossfire to get to as well, irrelevant of what happens. Would it be quite poetic to end on a crossfire control this year?
Well, we wouldn't. And oh, he's seeing is if they were to win both maps. Okay, sorry. Yeah, I mean, I think it would be kind of interesting to end on a crossfire control for sure, especially considering it did make an appearance in that upper bracket final. I suspect it would probably go more or less the same way, at the very least in scoreline, that we're unlikely to see something like a 3-0, given the way that this series has been competitive thus far. So yeah, I mean, potentially it would be fun for sure. But yeah, I mean, we've got that Summit coming up next. I think it's important to remind people, and I know that Summit, generally speaking, is one of the maps that is probably closest of any of the hardpoint maps for sure, in terms of like average scoreline. Like Summit always goes down to like a 15, 20, 25-point game, something within that margin of error. And that's why, as you said, last year it was a 250 to 228. This year, it was a 250 to 236 on the upper bracket final. So, yeah, Summit's just one of those ones that it lends itself to being close. Now, you mentioned earlier on, Tom, the fact that, you know, maybe it's just one of those games where, you know, Elevate were kind of down throughout the entirety of the game. I think it's worth saying, to my memory, that Elevate did actually have early control of Peak 3. They could have ended the game, but it came down to Cloud, who managed to take on 2-for-1 operator trade and cleared the point in favor of Q9. Now, barring a clutch like that, Elevate would have won that game, and I know that's a lot of woulda, coulda, shoulda moments in that, but still, I think it's worth saying that that is, by far, it wasn't like they got blown out of the water. Like, no. Q9, Elevate, both of them had a competitive game. Elevate were very much in the conversation. They can win this map.
We'll be heading there very shortly. But I'm ecstatic that we're tied up 2 apiece. I really thought that Q9 would actually walk away with that control. I felt like there were moments they could have dealt with better. I felt as if, like, when every single time the round came to the crunch, Elevate were really the ones who found what they needed. That 1 versus 4 towards the end of that first round, though, I imagine that goes the other way. It completely swings the game in a different direction.
And you know what's wild about that is, you know, there's a lot of like minor moments, right? Obviously, you know, as a Call of Duty mobile caster, we kind of both get to geek out a little bit at times. And for me, I definitely geeked out at the end of that round number 1, right? Because there's kind of an alternate universe out there, right? Where even that War Machine could have changed things, right? You pull that out a little bit earlier, maybe you get both of the kills. You don't pull it out at all, you don't win the 1 versus 4, but maybe that changes things in round number 2, right? Maybe you have a more indomitable start in the next round. So I think that really goes to show for you folks at home, maybe you're new to Call of Duty Mobile, even if you're not, just how important every single utilization of your operator is. Every single operator that comes out in the game, you have to maximize its value. Every decision you make can change the course of Call of Duty Mobile history, can change the course of how much money you walk away from here in Katowice. A reminder, folks, the winner of this tournament, $350,000. This is a $215,000 match of Call of Duty Mobile. That's a lot of cheddar, mate.
A lot of cheddar indeed. And it really is going to come down to these final few maps. Hardpoint Summit is where we go. We've been here before. Both these two teams have faced off on this map multiple times. They've juked it out. Nobody is necessarily the favorite, I would say, but Q9 as of recent just about found it. Can they repeat what we've seen in the winners bracket final? But either way, after this map, somebody will be on championship point. Which way will Summit go to determine who that is?
This has been a phenomenal grand final so far, folks, and we hope that continues here in towards this Summit. P1, Mixi, as ever, we're expecting these guys to go back and forth here. Susano, starting off hot already, Tom. He's a player that we've been talking a lot about in this series. Uling, another one, and he finds 3 right off the bat. He's looking to do more damage.
I mean, this man is just the Reaper of Summit. Every single time we're on board with him, it's 2, 3, 4 kills, but then Candy says, yeah, I can actually do that as well. There's 3 that will fall his way. Machi trying to control over towards the top side. The rest of Q9 back on their way through, but Elevator found a way in.
Don't expect Elevate to walk away with a mountain of time here unless you get that perfect setup. Players up top and also towards the point. Your HSOs have to be on point. And Kenny right now, alongside PJ and Yoppy, somebody's definitely picked one up off the ground, looking for all of the kills. They seem to be getting them for the most part here. Finally, though, a wave of blue in the feed, and even that doesn't really last a long time. I was saying, I don't expect Elevate to get a ton of time off this hill. This is a wealth of time to be getting on a contested hill such as P1 here on Summit.
Yeah, 5 seconds remaining. You're soaking it all up if you're Elevate. Just touching over towards 35, 36 points before we even head over towards P2. You take those all day long. Q9, I know they're on the side of the map they'd rather be on, but I think they'd rather be getting some time. And they'll start doing that very shortly over towards P2, you'd like to think. You see all the players just trying to jump in and from the over the top, trying to just find some angles, and these angles are being found by Elevate. They're starting to find plenty more kills. Q9 will answer back. Spawn's being fought over, but who's going to be in control of the point? Nobody just yet. Curly trying to survive, finding the kills. He's done so well to break that open. Q9 find a way.
Yeah, the good news here for Elevate is that they have managed to flip those spawns, and now they can actually focus on jumping in towards a hard point and stealing time away from Q9. They also have to be careful, though, about players potentially coming behind enemy lines, so it is going to be a player number 4 there, D-Chen, drawing the attention. sloppy towards the hard point, though. He at least steals away 5 to 10 seconds there, being a nuisance, but ultimately, Q9, they still maintain control.
20 seconds to go here, and actually the equalizer's already out from Klo. He's found 2 on this transition over towards P3. It's a little bit of a mixy one, to be honest. A couple of different players have found ways through, but it's ultimately Elevate who will clean house. Tempest out here and completely wasted. I don't know. Likes of PJ and Co. A lot being invested here for both these two teams. It's Elevate who've come out on top. They've got the spawns and just about have the lead.
Early ops invested here from Elevate. Q9 closed the margin down to 3. And now it's these early kills that really do matter. Q9 will continue to spawn close here, so you have to find some value. When these ops dry out, though, I wonder if Q9 are going to fire back with some ops of their own. This might be it.
Yep, that's going to be it. Tempest will find its way through in the hands of Curly. He'll find 3. Players still behind him as well. Susano continue to survive. Actually, I think he's got a little bit of reinforcement come through. You need to be able to deal with him. Because all of a sudden you get one good spawn, you bring an operator, you can find the break. There's still a player back there, and he's going to be the one to maybe try and find something. It was Kendi. He finds one. He's going to continue to survive, but the rest of his team can't find the kills. Kendi will fall. Q9 found a break, and they have 25 seconds on offer.
And it was legitimately what I said, Ton. You know, Elevate, they kind of almost immediately exhausted their operators in towards this hard point, and then you saw Curly and D-Chen come out with the Tempest and the War Machine. They find 5 between them. They wipe Elevate off the face of the earth, and now we go in towards the next hard point. Elevate, they lost a lot of time on that hard point. They will barely keep things close, but still, huge hill for Q9. Now we go into the next hill, and they're already starting to fight for those spawns.
I mean, at least Elevate made it a little bit difficult for them, you know, with the spawns over towards the backside. They survived as long as they could, but just weren't able to find the kills to formulate and break. Oh, Ling, though, he's doing really well at doing that, though. They managed to find the push already through towards this backside. Elevate were the first ones here, and Q9 have found a way through.
Q9 now going to be in for the time. Back spawns now under lock and key. PJ now just deciding, right, we're just going to fight this one from the front if we possibly can, but you've just got to get through the operators, and that has been the difference maker for Q9. They continue to find value off the back of them.
Wonderful stuff from Q9, and once again, looking like that team on Summit that we are expecting to see. D-Chen now towards his backside. Elevate still with the back spawns, trying to find a way through. Seemingly have they? Not quite. Yes, they have. Cloud will get taken down, but everybody else on their way up the ice side. 20 seconds to play for here. It's time that Elevate would really like, considering how the spawns have worked, considering the rotations they found. They haven't found that much value.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Again, you get away for gunfights, you get them back towards the hard point, but almost immediately Q9 will break you. I'm kind of surprised there that Elevate didn't really even pull out the Tempest in that situation. PJ had it in the back pocket, ready to go. Maybe would have liked to have seen that one just to keep Elevate in the conversation for that heal. But as we go in the second set here, Q9, 20-point advantage. And now we're back to where towards Elevate managed to get 40 points in the first set.
Yeah, well, that was the thing. Elevate are finding themselves behind and had a 30-point lead after one hill. So it tells you the story of how well Q9 have done over the next couple of hills, and you find very, very little there if you're Curly. Klo will take him down. Everybody else on their way through. Elevate trying to get themselves back inside of the point. Q9 doing their best to keep them out of it. A little bit more mixy over towards P1 this time out.
This is what you want to see. Double investment coming out from Elevate. We talk about that desperation point for teams here on Summit. Feels like Elevate might have already reached it. They do not want to fall behind Q9, so whipping out a couple of operators is good, but you need to find a little bit more value from that, especially if the follow-up from Q9 is like this, because they're currently running through them.
It's just so hard for Elevate to answer back. The shotguns here singing for the side of Q9. Kendi can find an answer. But right now, the questions are being posed by Q9. Rotation looking fantastic over towards the next hill. Mauchi has just found 5 out of absolutely nothing. And they're starting to be working on the operators as we head over towards P2 and start thinking about P3. It's a nice, healthy lead for the side of Q9.
Yeah, Q9, that lead at this kind of game is everything. A 40-point advantage to Elevate. They need to fight back. Last time around, they did a really good job at flipping the spawns out in their favor and taking time away from Q9. This time, they're having to fight through the hard point. They're investing 4 operators, 2 already down. Elevator's operators, I mean, Kendi finds a couple of kills, but they just haven't been as effective as they normally are.
Kendi might have just said, hold my beer, because there's 4 kills for you, Brody. War Machine is out. But you're right, we need to see a little bit more from Elevate in that sense, but trying to do as best as he can as Kendi. D-Chen will find plenty. Kendi is still going here, by the way. Finds 2. Is he going to find the spin? Oh my goodness. It's PJ who finds his way through. Elevate now kind of in control of the hill, but the spawns over towards P3 are going to be important. Kendi may well have just wiped 2 of them off the map. Great job here from the side of Elevate to try and bring themselves back into it.
Wow, Kendi off the back of that War Machine. Never mind, I apologize, Elevate gods, because Kendi off the back of that spree has brought Elevate back into the conversation here. EMP now on the cards potentially for the rotation towards the next hill, but it is Q9 in control, and you did exhaust all of your operators on the old hard point. So this is difficult. Q9 have control, Elevate. You gotta find a way to flip these spawns out now.
I mean, are you gonna maybe potentially throw this EMP in now to try and stop the bleeding? Curly just spraying the Tempest. It's a little bit late for that. Q9 in control. One player's managed to find a way through on Ice side, and kills will be found through the middle of the map. Q9 though set up, and they're dug in deep in these trenches. Oling, he's found an angle, he's found a flank, he can't find Klo. Everybody else from the side of Q9 doing well enough to keep Elevate at bay, but they're within touching distance here, Brody. It's not out of contention to try and get a hold of this hill.
You've still got to steal time away. You cannot let this time go to Q9. The EMP's out, so Q9 not the very least going to have any operators to play with here, but Elevate now fighting from the back time. 20 seconds worth fighting for. Mauchi gets traded out, but Q9 with those back spawns, they are going to keep spawning here and keep causing problems for Elevate. That's the big issue. You can fight from the front if you want to, but you can't do anything unless you get rid of those spawns.
If Elevate could have stopped them getting around 20 seconds or so there, then you take that as a small win. But Q9 get the majority of the time, and now we're on our races all the way over towards P3. Elevate are going to be here and set up. Once again, one player actually spawns out. One player's actually spawning over towards the old hill. Now starting to set up a pinch. Elevate have set themselves up here. You need to find some good time over towards P4.
Yeah, it feels like they haven't really been very efficient with that time. Oh, PJ, that's not good. And now Q9, they're knocking.
Oh my God, have they managed to find a way through once again? Every single time the question has been asked, Ao Ling and Co are finding a way through, in control of the hard point, finding the kills. PJ in the next one, chopping up potentially, but 3 kills just come in just like that from Elevate. Still trying to find something down this outside, but the close spawns are there for Q9. They've broke 200 points. There's 30 seconds to play for a P4.
Is Ulig like a professional runner or something? This guy's just running around the map and he's getting kills while doing it as well. Keeping the streak active, he single-handedly clears enough space for his team to get control and will almost immediately bring that Predator missile down from the heavens as well. The lead very much out of hand now. Ton Elevate, they are fighting for scraps. And you're fighting to stay in the game here. You are a God knows amount down in this game. You have to start getting something going.
65 seconds or so behind. I'll do the maths for you, Brody. Candy and Co, you need to start get going right now. P1 control was so good for them. Remember, they've got 150 points. They found 36 of them in that very first hill. They need to do something like that again. Howling Emochi starting to warm up into this series, though. It was a little bit of a start for the Emperor himself, but right now, Curly and Co are carrying the load as well. The Tempest is out. Q9 want to end it here at P1.
25 seconds, they could well do it, and it's the shotguns that have been paramount here for Q9. 41 from the Emperor. Cloud also on 30, the newest addition, or re-addition I should say, to the Q9 roster, and they are pooping right now on Elevate. They're 15 seconds away from being on match championship.
10 seconds away for the side of Q9 and 20 seconds to play for here over towards P1. If you're Elevate, you've got to find a way through. But all I see in the kill feed is death after death after death for Elevate. Q9 are one map away.
He's feeling it. The Emperor knows. He knows that the next dynasty might be closer than you think. Wow. I talked about how Summit hardpoints, hey, Ton? Always real close. They're always within 15 to 25, maybe a little bit more. Ele entrou só nesse mapa, miserável. You know, like, hold my beer. That was an indomitable Summit hardpoint, and it really did feel like, and sometimes it feels like you're splitting hairs, right, with hardpoint holds, but it really did feel like Q9 just outclassed Elevate on so many different hardpoints throughout that game. I think notably when it came down to the money kill P3, they just had way better operator efficiency. They got much more time. And then when you get over to a hill like P4, which is generally speaking mixy, Elevate just didn't really get any time whatsoever. Like, Q9 were consistently in control. They were consistently running rings around them. And you have to say, part of that is just down to the way that Summit hardpoint works. If your heavy players are shooting, you are going to be winning. And I'm sure we'll see in the stat lines in a second just how much damage Oling and Cloud did in that game.
Incredible turnout from Q9 when they needed it. They huffed and they puffed in the raid control, but they didn't blow anything down. Q9 then brought that into the Summit and converted it. Incredible work from the CDM team to find themselves now in the lead and one map away from revenge. They got bodied last year. And I think, if I'm Q9, I'm thinking about that all year long. They would want to avenge
Você falou isso aí de que cocô no tu não pode falar não. Tô falando pra eles.
And they are not very far away from confirming that they can do it. We're going to be heading over towards Crossfire Control. You can see a little bit of a conversation going on there, so I'd imagine we can have a little bit of time to discuss it. But it was a very close game between these two on this map, specifically before. It was a very close game on Summit Hardpoint as well, actually, and that wasn't close this time around. Crossfire coming up. Any overarching thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, look, we went back towards the round number 5, Crossfire Control from the upper bracket final, and it really did feel like a back and forth affair. Although, alluding to something proper maybe said on the analyst desk earlier on, it did feel like Elevate at the very least were fighting from the back foot more often than not. I think, the amount of clutch moments that we saw specifically from them was, there was a lot. There was a lot for sure. I think, looking back towards PJ, just clearing a lot of space with the HSO, with the Annihilator player that followed it up with, kind of basically guarantee a round 3 win, or round 2 win, excuse me, and Elevate also making a huge comeback in round number 3. Plays like that kind of kept Elevate in the game, but when it was ultimately Q9 winning rounds over by Crossfire, they did it, I would say, in a more convincing fashion than Elevate's one. So it does feel like maybe this is the map. Maybe this is the moment, folks, where Elevate lose the championship and Q9 become champions for the very first time. Crossfire, it's difficult. I think the big one for me, we go back towards Crossfire, and I have a lot of love for Mao Chi. We talked about it again in the green room, where if Q9 win this tournament, Hugh is the MVP. Obviously, that's a discussion for another time, because everybody has been shooting. But Mao Chi was definitively the reason that they won Crossfire early on, because he was running across the map, just dropping bombs.
That's a problem for them in the green room.
Not our issue.
A little bit busy, unfortunately. But I think it's a conversation to be had, right? We've seen both these teams. Everybody's been putting up performances when needs be, but Elevate need that performance right now. Well, they're crashing out second. They want their hands back on that trophy. And I think they knew. I remember the very first interview of this week, and PJ said immediately, the level of competition has risen significantly. And based on the grand final that we seen last time, in a 4-0 scoreline for Elevate up against Q9. Case in point, Q9 finding themselves one map away from avenging what happened. Not necessarily in devastating fashion like that, but I don't think they'll care how they get it done, if they get it done.
Yep, again, if you weren't here last year, folks, Q9 got 4-0'd in the grand finals. Elevate ran through them, and let's be respectful about it, or rather disrespectful about it. They ran through pretty much everybody. So this is very different this year. Yeah, you're right. I mean, the bar has been raised. Elevate were a dominant team last year. I think even coming into the tournament, given what they had done in Garena and done in CDSI, they were widely considered the favorites, and I think they came out and proved that by a large margin. But now this year, Stalwart in their own region, albeit, they got 3-0 convincingly in the lower bracket final, have given them a lot to think about. Q9 and Wolves have really raised the bar. I think Wolves in particular, right? I know that they're not here right now, and I know that obviously they kind of crashed out of the tournament in 4th place, but the lengths that Wolves went to as a team to make sure that Elevate had competition. They basically overhauled their entire roster. They brought in 3 new rookies. Q9 made a couple of changes, right? I mean, they cycled out Sun. You had Zero over in CDM, and now Cloud is here, playing in Zero's place as well. Like, everything, it feels like, has been geared to elevate the competition. That bar has to be raised, and we have to be fighting to not get on Elevate's level, but we got to best them.
They're doing a great job so far. But the only reason they're in the lead is that advantage they have brought in from that winners bracket game. They've went 2 apiece over the 4 maps we played. So this is far from done. It was a close game. It was a 3-2 scoreline in the winners final. If you missed it, on the map where we're about to play next, which is going to be Crossfire Control. Just dotting our I's and crossing our T's on the stage. We want to make sure all the players are as comfortable as possible and nothing getting in anybody's way. It's given us a good opportunity to really set this stage, Brody. It's quite the storyline for both these two squads. Q9, the one in the driving seat right now.
I think it is worth saying, by the way, folks, that albeit Q9 had a pretty positive record back in CDM here in Control, 15-8 overall, Crossfire was their weakest map. 5-4, 50-50 more often than not. So for Q9, or I should say for Elevate, if they probably want to play them anywhere, it likely would be the Crossfire, to be fair. They've already won Raid in this series, and that was a positive map for Q9 back in CDM. So I think Elevate right now, obviously you kind of have to be positive to a certain extent. There's not a single negative thought can enter your mind here in the grand finals of a world championship, but they will be thinking positive. They will be like, look, this is how we get into this one. Elevate, you have to have it. You have to win this one if you want to become the first ever team to win a world championship, not just twice, but also back to back. This is a must win.
Do or die, as the saying that springs to mind, because that's exactly what it is. We're over on our way to Crossfire. One of the very first maps I ever played in any Call of Duty game, so it really does belong in my heart, and I would love to see it potentially end on this one for very personal reasons. But other than that, it's been a map that Q9 took away in their previous matchup. Can they do it again to be crowned champions?
Q9, they will want to come out the gate swinging in this one. They want to try and get control of A as quickly as possible, and I think crucially get rid of Elevate. Those players pushed all the way forward. You've already done so against one inside Clo, but as long as PJ can maintain his position, even if they do lose A, it already prevents that swing straight across B, and now you've lost that key power player, and Elevate, well, they're slowly having to deal with the progression that Q9 have made.
It's decent progression though. They'll take it all day long. Elevate not necessarily in the worst of positions. One player trying to make a little bit of a push, and then that is going to be PJ. He's got a little bit of a hand here as well. Cannot find a way through. Q9 have been forced off by everybody else on the side of Elevate. Lives dead even, but 2 ticks nearly underway over towards this A side.
Q9 holding onto it really close here. Elevate, they're getting those players forward, but they're not actually doing anything to try and stop it. Yoppie is trying to fight for positioning as opposed towards the point, and he's lost said position now as well. So now you feel with 50 seconds on the clock here, Q9 surely now going to focus here on trying to get control once again and just get the point done.
Slow and steady seems to be winning the race right now, but Yoppie, he's trying to find the kills. He's got PJ alongside of him. The deadly duo here with the HS. Are they able to continue to find these kills? They're forcing Q9 back, but it's a huge nade from Mao-Chi. Close there to maybe just try and stop the bleeding, but that should be A gone.
Felt like Elevate there, playing a game of whack-a-mole for the longest period of time, right? Getting themselves back in towards that A building over and over again as soon as Q9 had removed them. But yeah, you're right. Double nade from Mao-Chi finally clears that space here that they can make that transition happen, and they don't have to worry about anybody inside A building anymore. Elevate, they know that. They are stacked up in towards B and bottom X. You do not want to lose those positions if you want to hold on towards map control.
Next wave of gunfights are going to be massive. European core positioned. Cloud trying to find something on the other side of the map, but Mao-Chi will open things up with the kill onto Susano. Cloud nearly got across to the other side, but Kendi shuts him down. Can you manage to continue to find kills? Don't you Q9? Yes, you can. They broke through over towards B. Elevate, need back that control.
And now you're in panic mode as well because Q9 are going to push up the map here. You've got Curly pushed as far up as possible. He's going to look for players from Elevate coming off the spawn.
Susano managed to find a kill on the cross, but Owling is there to pick up the pieces. 9 versus 10 in favor of Q9. Q9 are also the ones who are capturing the point. Elevate need to get back onto it. They're going to start to make their move, and Kendi, he's gotten absolutely massive with the pistol. He's managed to find 2, 7 versus 7.
Yeah, Curly's gone down, and the Bulls have come down as well. Q9 removing the point.
Yoppie brings out the Sparrow. He may well just want to put a pin in this one, but 5 ticks immediately over towards the side of Q9, who have the time to back it on up. 7 lives remaining out for Elevate, who have just about leveled the playing field here as far as map control goes, but 7 versus 4 is huge.
Q9. They have operators ready to go. Yuling going to start things off, and I wonder now with that kill, maybe they think, hey, this is a good idea right here. Mao-Chi's ready to go. Hunter Killer drone out in the air, but it doesn't get anything on the landing. So 30 seconds left. If you're going to get those operators out, you've got to make those decisions now.
Maybe one more kill. We'll tempt them. Kendi's actually brought the War Machine in as Mao-Chi will find Susano. And Kendi just wants to secure this round. He's going to try and slow it down, but Q9 are waiting. Mao-Chi will pull the Annihilator. This one's just going to explode in about 3 seconds' time. Mauchi starts to move forward, as do the rest of the Q9 squad. Cloud will manage to find something here with the War Machine. He's got his way through. Uling will find another, but the Annihilator Out's not doing a great deal because everybody else on Q9 is.
Tome.
Mauchi puts a nail in it.
Chupa.
They take their time, they wait for their moment, and they grab it with both hands.
And that right there is a Q9 special. Order up, Elevate. 4 ops on the board, and all 4 effective. Elevate, I think that was 4 ops for them in quick succession, and all of them amount to naught. I don't know how many of them are chargebacks, but nonetheless, a huge round for Q9. That is them perfect.
Oh, you've got to be careful of this one getting out of control because this kill feed is looking very positive for Q9. Susano turns and deals with Curly, who didn't quite finish his dinner. Yopi, he's pushed forward, and it was a scary moment, but Yopi starting to pop off now for Elevate when they need him. Curly will find 2 on the side of Q9. Not much inroad made over towards A, but eventually Elevate will start to get a little bit of control. And they absolutely needed it. Claw with the Tempest out, trying to get things going nice and quick here. We'll just probably confirm A with that. They smell blood in the water. They want to push over towards B.
Yeah, I mean, and why not make that decision at this point, right? Because if you can do more damage with the Tempest, take these players down, it's huge. Create space, give yourselves time to play within this round. Unfortunately, that strategy, that play call does go awry. Elevate, they're still committing to it. They want B, and for good reason. You get this, you're good.
And I don't think that Q9 really expected that push to continue. They're managing to just about deal with it. Cole can find one to answer back. But now all of a sudden, Elevate has defaulted back over towards that A side. That's a bit of a risky player, but that risky player has not necessarily resulted in anything negative here. A may well be going their way and the lives are basically dead even.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing, right? Q9 have to dedicate so much prowess to actually holding on towards B that ultimately Elevate have that as a backstop, right? They know that there isn't going to be anybody from Q9 who has transitioned over towards A. That is so unlikely. You don't really lose anything from making that kind of gambit. As a matter of fact, you get an extra 60 seconds on the board, and you've got time to potentially charge into ops.
Eu acho que fechou, eles não pegaram.
Cloud and Co just trying to survive.
Agora aqui, quem tá no B?
It does tickle him.
Não, tá no B.
And do Elevate, trying to pounce after that. Susano will find Dechen. And Clove finds Curly, and all of a sudden this is broken wide open. Elevator found a way through. You have to go massive if you're Uling and Cloud. Cloud doesn't manage to find 2 and slow them down. And slow them down might be enough because Dechen over towards the backside has found plenty. Curly brings in the Tempest. The lives are dead even. You can't win that gunfight if you're Cloud, but you force them away. A minute and 10 seconds to go. Q9 have got operators out. Elevate can take their time.
Q9 are just going to wait for them to come into their FOV and immediately eviscerate them with the operators. They might not get a chance, to be fair. The War Machine is done. Yeah, you're right. I mean, Elevate here, they're just going to wait. They know those operators are out. Curly at the very least will find 1 here. But Elevate, they will get the trade. So we're in a 7v8 here, 45 seconds on the clock. The big issue for Elevate here with this time remaining ton, they have to get the map control before they get the push. And I don't know about the time. 35 seconds. Ooh, it's squeaky bum time.
Elevate starting to make their move, and Mauchi, he's ready.
No.
Oh, he can't do anything about it, though. The gunfight will go the other way, but Uling finds something over onto Yoppy. 4 versus 7 in favor of Q9. 24 seconds for Elevate to formulate a plan. But it feels like they're clutching at straws. It feels like they're running out of ideas. So let's just send it and see what happens. PJ can find 1. Yoppy finds another. Susano brings in the death machine. They need to find something. It's a 3 versus 4. Finds the kill and pushes forward. 3v3.
It's that push forward. That's everything. Now in a 2v3. 10 seconds left.
Oh, can you get it done here if you're Yoppy and Susano? The death machine is out. You've stopped the time.
Pega no B, vai nisso.
Q9 know where they are. They know they can do something, but Susano may well be making the play to win the round and keep Elevate in this game. 2 versus 2 now. It's going to start breaking the life. Uling will find 1. It's a 1 versus 1.
10 seconds on the clock here. Hunter killer thrown out.
Is he
going to find him? Is he going to avoid it?
Cara ficando baixinho, depois os caras vão vir. Ah,
just
morreu.
going to ascend the throne. Uling goes forward. HSO out! And Q9, they can smell it. They are 1 round away from taking this one.
Oh, Susano has done so much for Elevate. I really thought that was it. But Uling has done so much more for Q9. And now we ask for just a little bit more. 1 more round of control. And the championship that has eluded you for so long is yours. Back towards A we go, here for Q9, and they've already started that snowball.
Starting to find a couple of kills here, and now Elevate need to find 3 rounds in a row on crossfire control. It is not impossible, especially by their standards. Can they find it? Susano finding plenty of kills, and maybe Q9 are feeling delusional confidence because they're all just heading over towards this B side. Uling and Kendi trying to just do whatever they can for their team, but right now, it's a bit of a bloodbath over towards this B side. You're starting to continue to find plenty if you're Q9. But look at where PG is, and he's just slowing them down with this Annihilator, pegging them back as much as he can.
Yeah, and that's the idea right now, right? Just distract as much as humanly possible. The problem is he's in a position where you can just run so past him, or he may have been taken down, and they've done the latter. They're getting the kills. Q9, they're still knocking at the door here. They have time to play with 40 on the clock.
They still need to really get a hold of A, and that may well be the idea very, very shortly. Cole can find one under Mauchi, and Ling will just keep that pressure on. A is being defaulted. They've sent themselves back over towards this side. They want to extend this time. They've got the life advantage, but they have done a few times, Brody. It looks as if Q9 not necessarily interested in getting involved here. Kendi will just continue to keep them at bay. Elevate now looking to have a little look here, Brody. Q9 doing their best, but 25 seconds, they still need to get a hold of A here, do Q9.
It's not the worst utilization of the War Machine, right? You're going to get enough pellets through that you're going to take any trophy systems down that would stop it. So you do take a kill off the back of that. Drain a couple more seconds off the clock here. 25 now, 1v1, and Cloud's going to win it. So that means Q9 might be able to get A. They should be able to get the extra 60 seconds on the board. And we now sit at 11v7, Elevate with the advantage.
Uling trying to find a way through. PJ will shut that down. 10 versus 6, but you've got a minute and 10 seconds. Every single one of these controls has come down to such a finite amount of lives. The operator's now starting to come up for Q9. There are a few of them as well. But for Q9, do you pull that trigger now? Do you pull the trigger and confirm yourselves as world champions? Or do you wait? You've got plenty more opportunity. Mauchi will find Kendi, 9 versus 6.
It's the operators for me. We've seen this playbook before. Q9, they did this back in round number 1. They waited, and they struck at the perfect time. Now it's 4 in a 6v9. I don't know how far Elevate are away. The smokes are down. The parts are on the board. All Q9 have to do is put them in position.
Claw will find Curly, and that's a great start. Mauchi will also fall, but Cloud will find one back. 8 versus 4. This is difficult for Q9, and I wonder if they may not pull the trigger now. Elevate, they've got life, they have plenty of it, and they will find this round, barring a 1 versus 7. Coming in here from Curly, it ain't gonna happen.
And at this point, you're playing for ops. Yep, you know the situation. It doesn't really matter that much. PJ takes him down. And that's an interesting choice right there, because it wasn't exactly like he was threatening for any ticks or progression over towards the point. He was on the hunt for the kills. Elevate might have got a little bit more operator charge, because now you're at a disadvantage, right? There's only 1 on hand, maybe 2 at most, and Q9 have everything in the kitchen sinking towards this round. Elevate might be in trouble.
Q9 may well just put them under sword immediately, but the kills have come through here for Elevate on their attacking round. They traded across the board, and they've got a little bit of map control. I would have thought Q9 might have just thrown everything in there just to force them back into the spawn off the rip, but everything's been brought in that Elevate can actually afford to do, and the Tempest is out. Now the push in over towards A will be formulated, but it feels so tense. Every single movement has to be perfection from Elevate.
Tishan's trying to clear out some space here. At the very least, you're going to clear enough space that you get some control over the A building. That's a big gun, but oh no! Close the eyes. And now he's going to give enough breathing room here for Elevate to actually make that A capture. I don't see any reason for Q9 to go forward. As a matter of fact, Elevate starting to poke the bear a little bit, starting to garner a little bit more real estate. That's the idea. Q9, they are not giving anything away for free.
I think they're starting to believe, Brody. Kendi finds 2, Uling and Cloud. Cloud needs to find that gunfight. Or Q9 getting nervous because Elevate are starting to make inroads. Curly, he'll bring in the Tempest. It will take one big play to really force them back, but he's missing his bullets, he's missing absolutely everything. Doesn't find much, but finds one through the middle. Curly, pressure will be on. They're starting to find kills of Q9, but Kendi will take him down. Great usage for Elevate. Not that hot for Q9 so far.
Yeah, you take that 1-for-1 trade on the operators, but Uling, he's out on the prowl with the equalizers.
He keeps it going and finds 3. He will force Elevate back. They still have a minute and a half to go, and they still have a slight life advantage, but everything is pretty much being invested from the side of Q9. Cloud still does have his operator available. But Elevate have not been put to bed yet. They've been forced back. It's not ideal. But Q9 invested a lot to get that job.
Yeah, it is worth saying, right, the board is basically reset here with just over 70 seconds on the clock. Elevate have to work back for that map control, and they don't have really any operators to do it. PJ, the only one with the Annihilator, and he has to do something with the rest of his teammates falling.
We need to see something from PJ, and we need to see it now. The MVP last year, his team are working around him as well. Kendi can find 2, and PJ, he'll just be looking for the cuts here with the Annihilator. Can he continue to find it? Ling, he's read him like a book. He takes him down, and everybody else from Q9 starts kicking to gear. Elevate trying to find a way through. They still continue to survive.
And now Susano needs to play catch up once again. He has to try and draw the attention of Q9 away from the front line. If he can do that, if he can open the door for Elevate, they might be in.
He's brought the death machine out, and Ling again. How many times is he going to shut them down? Elevate did have the lives, but they're being forced back. 40 seconds to go. 8 versus 7.
And I don't know if you can wait for ops here. I think you've just got to go with 35 on the board. You have to make the move forward. Now Chloe back doing what Susano was before in the prize fighters. That might have done it. Down to the final set of lives of Q9.
7 versus 3. They're starting to find the gunfights that seemed destined that they would find. Can Cloud maybe, just maybe, find something here as Elevator starting to make the way through, but somehow they're forced to 2 versus 4. Now a 1 versus 4 as Cole PJ combines so well. Elevate, bring it back from the brink. We go to a round number 5.
And you've got to give so much love to Susano and Chloe. They knew exactly what to do. Get behind enemy lines, be a nuisance, be a distraction, open that door, and Elevate. They walk through it. Round 5 once more. This time, Elevate, they have to win.
They've done it 2 rounds in a row. God knows what the operator economy looks like at this stage. I've lost count. But Susano will find Cloud, and Elevate just need to defend to send us to a map number 7 in this grand final, this World Championships final. Everything that these teams have played for all season long could well be on the lines for the Fire Image S&D, but Elevate need to complete their end of the bargain. Close pushing forward with the Tempest, and he gets going. Mao Chi will do a fantastic job there. Ling's got aggressive. Ling is dead. Susano and Co do well. Across the map, not necessarily too much control here for Q9, but they've got Cloud inside of a good position, but Mao Chi have come! He's found 3, and all of a sudden, B might just be gone!
Oh no! Elevate, they fought their ace up the sleeve, was the Tempest, but Q9 refused to get rid of their chokehold over B. This capture is coming fast, and Elevate, they do not have the map control to deal with it. They've just given up. They've given up. They just do not care about B now. They are going to reside themselves towards A, and the life advantage continues to grow.
Yeah, they have to be careful with these lives, though. They really do have to be careful. They're forced their way over towards A side of the map. It doesn't happen very often, but B has been captured first. Q9 just broke it open. Mao Chi, how many times have we said that he's just been clutching up with Elevate? They're starting to find some kills and a little bit more control. Everybody else from Elevate has been forced back into the spawn, but it might be on Mao Chi again. He slipped the net and he's starting to ring out shots. The game now changes in a certain kind of way. 1.5 minutes to go. Both these two teams have very little control, but Yoppie, everybody else from Elevate, starting to find some operators and starting to use them well.
And Mao Chi goes down as well, so that's Q9's ace out of the round. 13v13, blue kill feed, and Elevate have to do something that's improbable. You have to defend A when B is gone. They are so close to getting it. 80 seconds on the clock here, and now the death machine from Susano.
Had to find that, Susano. How Ling will fall. It's one last roll of the dice here for Q9. Operators starting to come up. The battle lines will start to be drawn. Mao Chi will find Susano, and Elevate will just have to try and hold on this defensive side as Q9 trying to find a way through. 1 minute to go. 11 versus 11.
You gotta imagine those ops are the key to the championship now for Q9. When they come, it will rain down upon Elevate.
Ling's found 1. Mao Chi can find another, but Elevate are holding on. Mao Chi's gotten taken down, but is it the Emperor who will just seal the deal? Ling finds a way around, but Claw with the huge lead. PJ, he brings the Annihilator out. Elevate with 2-0 down. They may well just send us to a final map. PJ! He's finding everything he needs to do for Elevate. Q9 are clutching at straws. It's desperation. D-Chen tries to find a way through, but Yoppie may well just seal the deal. 6 versus 2. You know exactly where we're going, and it's to the firing range to decide who will be world champion. Unless he couldn't do it, Brody. I don't care what you say. I don't care who you say he is. There ain't no way Ling can do this. They spot him out. They kill him dead. Map 7 inbound.
That's something you never see. That doesn't happen. You cannot defend A when B has already been lost. That's against the rules. And if there's anyone who's going to break the rules, it's going to be Elevate. Oh, God. Rules and regulations, all the norms out the window, folks. Game 7. Oh my God.
Well, it's making up for the 4-0 last year, at least, anyway.
Oh boy, do you know what? I'll be honest, mate, and everyone at home as well. I was petrified when we came into the grand finals after double 3-0s, thinking, oh God, please don't be another 4-0. I don't want that. If you're not a fan of Call of Duty Mobile, if your friends aren't a fan of Call of Duty Mobile, show them this series thus far, because it has been electric. And how about that for a control? A reverse sweep from Elevate. Their backs about as far up against the wall as you could possibly get. And they make the comeback. Folks, you are never going to see something like this in COD M again. Just insatiable work from Elevate to come back from the brink.
I don't know if my microphone will pick this up, but
I picked that up, buddy.
It's time to log in. Map number 7, we go. What a game of control that was. And how on earth have Elevate brought that back, not just from 2-0 down, but when they found themselves having to defend over towards that A side to hold it. I'm not gonna lie, I was ready. I had my lines ready for Q9 to pull it. I'd best pull the ones out for Elevate, because I tell you where we're going. We're going to that map number 7, and let's just take a step back. I know you want to talk about the statistics here, Brody. I'll let you do so in a second. But we do need to talk about firing range.
Of course.
Let's forget about that one for a second. Sorry, I've waffled too much whilst the stats were. Let's talk about
it's a big moment for everyone here, really, right? I mean, I get it. I totally get it.
Map number 6 is incoming. Firing range. Talk to me.
Just incredible. Look, Fire and Range Search and Destroy is a phenomenal map for both of these two teams. And I think, you know, for Elevate, there will be a moment here of, well, they'll be stressed for sure, but at the same time, they know that this is their best map outside of the one that was taken from them in Tunisia. 3-0 in Garena qualifiers. This is a very, very strong map for them. And the reasons why, well, I feel like everyone knows their name at this point. Susano and Kendi. There is a lot of love shown to the SMGs and the ARs and the like for Elevate. But it is down to the marksman players, the sniper rifle players, really specifically, folks, the Tundra players on Fire and Range S&D that makes their Fire and Range so deadly. And let me tell you something, Ton. Look, those snipes have not been perfect, but at the very least, Susano's been shooting this series, and that's what I wanted to say. He had 37 kills in that game. He's been paramount to the success for Elevate. And all we need from them to fix what happened earlier on is just for them to win some first bloods.
It's easier said than done, but for me, we can talk statistics, we can talk eventualities, likelihoods, but one thing that statistics don't point towards is emotion and feeling. For Elevate, mere seconds away from what could have been a sensational win for Q9. But then Elevate turn it on its head and have got to be feeling like it's theirs to lose. Q9 have just had that trophy snatched from their hands. And are they able to reset? That's what they need to do. Both these two teams are good at this map. That is undoubted. But for me, it's about the headspace of where both of these squads are.
Look, let's just take a minute to talk about what happened earlier on, folks. So if you're just joining us here, and I don't doubt that a lot of new people are, considering there's probably a lot of people that are hearing, hey, there's a Game 7 going on right now in the World Championship, the Grand Finals between Q9 and Elevate. If you're just joining us, earlier on, we did see that Coastal Search and Destroy, and we talked a little bit about how it was more dominant, for sure, and I think that's very obvious in the scoreline, right? A 7-1 win that time around for a Q9, and I think there started to become a little bit more problems for Elevate than maybe were even present in the upper bracket final. In the upper bracket final, I think a lot of it was just down to, yes, as I keep on kind of going on about those first bloods, but also simply how reactive Q9 had become, right? You know, even if they were up in the life advantage, Q9 would go hunting down the remaining players. If it was a 3v1, a 4v2, a van advantage that they were extremely happy with, they would not settle for the map control. They would go after those remaining players. They did not give Elevate a moment's rest. We get towards the 7-1 search and destroy earlier on, and I think they kind of ratcheted up that aggression tenfold. Q9 were confident, and for whatever reason, Elevate just could not find some kind of response. They need one.
Here we go then. Whatever happens, firing range search and destroy will decide who the big boss of Call of Duty Mobile is. Both of these teams have put on an absolute barn burner for everybody here in Katowice, for everybody at home. Fire range search. I mean, it's got to be overtime, buddy. It has to be, surely. Elevate on the defensive side, Q9 on the attack. We're on board with Q9. And which way will this game go?
Well, early aggression coming out from Elevate here in towards this S&D. They want to try and catch Q9 off guard. Q9 also kind of not giving them anything. They know how aggressive Elevate can be. They don't want to change the pace. And now PJ has to kind of catch the pace off by surprise.
Very typical spot. He holds his gun, no. And Dechen checks it. Oh my word, it's broken open for Q9. He did the right thing. But he didn't expect the second player to be the one to check it. Now all of a sudden Q9 have complete control of the site. It's a 5v3 in their favor. If only momentarily, Kelly will fall.
Elevate have to try and take some kind of time here to get behind enemy lines. Reposition from Mao Chi is, oh god, that's a strategy and a half right now. Effectively 3 versus 3 over on the site.
Lá no 5 lá do outro lado.
They've sent it.
Deixou os 3 sozinhos.
And they need to do something about it though. Q9 are quite happy to just let them chill. Mao Chi will find one to Susano. This is just difficult to win if you're Elevate. You cannot kill that many people in a row. Q9 will find it.
And ultimately, that's the gamble. Elevate took at the start of that round. They pushed a player into the corner, said, hey, let's try and surprise Q9. Buddy, let me tell you, there are no surprises at this level of Call of Duty Mobile. Every single corner will be meticulously checked, especially given how quiet Elevate were being. I think Q9 probably realized that something was up. Similar looks in this round. Elevate, tiny bit more reserved. Opening snipe. Mao Chi is going to be tagged, and he's going to back down. That's going to be the starting gun here for Q9.
A lot of utility sent this way. And Q9 will get very, very aggressive. Elevate, are they going to be able to answer? PJ again is going to get caught. That's first blood once more. Over towards Q9. That bomb once more going down for Q9. And they have the advantage. And they had in the previous round. 5 versus 4. Susano will even the odds. 4v4.
He's mixed frags here again. Once again, Mao Chi playing an off angle, off away from the rest of the team. He's going to try and keep some players at bay. And every single time Elevate peek their heads, they're getting tagged up. They're getting shut down.
Great work from Q9 here. Just holding it down. Elevate have got absolutely no answer. And these are the kind of rounds that Q9 needed. You come off the back of that control to find 2 convincing rounds like that. Will steady those nerves ever so slightly. The ones on Elevate, though, will start to rise.
We need to see some unique looks from Elevate. I think what we've seen so far is a pretty bog-standard defensive setup. And this is different from Q9. Elevate have gone something for different, and Q9 have called their bluff. Only one player over here for Elevate. Oh boy, Susano, the world is in your hands.
The player book. It's been brought out at the correct time here for Q9. Lingenko starting to get a little bit of control over towards his backside, but it's not just that easy. For the first time, though, Elevate will find first blood. And now, all of a sudden, it's difficult for Q9. Elevate have found themselves over towards being swept on in and caused a lot of damage. Cloud should be dead to right. Susano will find it. Brilliant retake from Elevate. Susano finds 3.
And in that chaos, shout out to Clo. He played his life to perfection in that situation. He was down. I was convinced that he was dead by way of a very well cooked nade from Q9. He's just dead to rights. And Susano comes to the rescue for 3. Elevate on the board. That's the response. Q9 tries something cheeky, and Elevate say, well, do go away.
Positivity for Elevate that they're now on the board. Snipers really haven't been there for them. Kendi yet to find anything, which is really surprising. He's so consistently that guy for Elevate, and he needs to be. And once again, he's being caught. 4 versus 5 now. He starts to get aggressive, and sometimes in these kind of moments, do you start to get desperate? He gets caught out. Utility down over towards this A side. Q9 are on their way.
Susano just can't blindly through the smoke and find anything. Elevate, of course, no ready, no presence inside the trailer. So Q9 once again ascertain control over A. Bomb down. Elevate have not been able to get through the map. Maybe a different kind of change in tact here might well help Elevate, because Q9 have been so good at locking this thing down.
That nade ain't going to find anything. It's going to force Curly maybe to have to make a move away. But they have not been successful, but these smokes may well help. Lindo, he can find the first. PJ will answer back with another, and all the kills start to flow in the middle of this site. Mauchi will find one more, and now it's Deixe and Mauchi left in a 2v1. Every time that bomb is down, Elevate can do nothing about it.
It's specifically the A-bomb site as well, and I know, you know, again, easy forehead kind of statement of the year, but still, you know, the fact that they get the bomb down on A thrice now and have been successful off the back of that, Elevate have to find a response. You cannot keep letting them get to the site. You have to put a stop to them before they get close. Oh boy, and that was the response to get aggressive in towards A. They read it perfectly. They have a response, and Yoppie, see you in the next round, pal.
Vai dar também.
Feels like Q9 are in Elevate's heads.
Levaram uma bomba, fi.
They know where they're going, they know what they're doing, and they know how to beat them. And how they've been beating them. There's a push over towards A, and that's what's starting to formulate now. Tagged up just a little bit though if you're Deixe, and you're going to have to back on down, but the rest of Q9 are here with you. They're there for the backup. All the utility starting to ring through. Elevate are not going to be able to do a great deal about this, you would like to think. Q9 have found their way in again.
But this time, Elevate, oh, I was going to say, you've got players. Kendi almost immediately shut down, and yeah, you'll be happy with a trade time, but the result is still the same. It's Q9 in control of the site. Elevate, you've got to get the kills off the back of this bomb.
Kelly jumps off and gets punished for it. Susano will find another as well, 2v2.
Cara, pegou um posicionamento bom ali, levou.
I'm not sure why he jumped off, to be honest. Maybe he just felt the threat. Maybe there was an aid in that I just didn't see, but irrelevant. He did it. And now it's a 2 versus 2 and far from a sure thing. Oh, you got to hit those shots if you're Susano. You're being so accurate. The entire series, the entire week. You need to find something, but it's nothing but a grey screen. Cloud will find it. Clo left in a 1v2.
Oh, Clo.
Arma bomba, meu filho. Isso, garoto.
This man made a big play earlier on in the round. They did win. Now needs to pull off a 1v2, and he's already been tagged up.
Ling will go for the challenge, and Clo will get sat down. Q9 4-1 the good.
And I just don't understand. They got off the bomb. There was an opportunity there for Elevate. It was right in their grasp, and they did take it. They got a couple of kills. And then still, Q9 are like, all right, cool. We're in a 2v2. We might not have numbers, but we can still get the bomb down. That's exactly what they do. And I think Susano going down was the catalyst there. Clo didn't really have much of a chance with mid-map pressure. Elevate have once again adapted, but it's just the problem here. Yeah, I mean, look, here's the thing. Clo, you get tagged up, but you get away in that situation. You garner information, that's fine.
Curious how many members of Elevate he's seen, of Q9 he's seen, I should say. But it's also given the side of Elevate a little bit more of a chance to set up over towards this A side. This is a little bit more methodical from Q9, but it has to be. They haven't found those inroads, they haven't found those cracks yet.
Q9, they've chosen their target. Elevate, again, set up ever so slightly different. And once again, weight on Susano's shoulders.
Blow back on down, Susano finds nothing again. Cloud will take him down. These entry kills are just so clean, and everybody starts to fall. Q9 now on a 5 versus 2, they are just having their way with Elevate. PJ's trying to do what he can, but Cloud will take him down. And Yobi now left in a 1 versus 4. To end the half. And he's dead. 5-1 Q9 after the half. If you cast your minds back to that coastal, that was the scoreline at the half. That time around is exactly the same here on Firing Range.
Look, Firing Range can sometimes be an offensively sided map though. Q9 just showed you guys exactly why, but those kind of opening snipes, Kendi needed to take Curly out of the play. doesn't do so. Q9 now are on towards the A site and Elevate don't have the same open door that Q9 did when they were on the offense.
Estão no ataque, estão tão longe do A e do B, velho.
Just taking their
Querendo
time.
matar os personagens tudo, será? Pegou.
Problem being, you need to win quite a few rounds.
Tem que armar a bomba e estão
to stop
esperando os caras.
Q9
Se fosse aqui na eu esperava.
becoming champions. It's so difficult from this spot, but they're taking their time.
O tempo tá
They're slowly
acabando
making their
mesmo.
way. Are Q9 going to be ready for it?
Só marca aqui, só
It's all
marca.
about
Eles
these
têm que
snipes.
armar
We've
isso.
got to
Estão
take this place out of
marcando.
position, and Deixe, well, he's known for him.
Incredible shot from Deixe. Kendi, he had to get on the board. He's been so dependable for Elevate. He's been shut out of the game time and time again.
Toma. Tira, porra.
It feels
Tirar,
like
tinha
Elevate have
acertado
went
no
over towards the
vazado lá.
attacking side, and it's a similar feeling to defense. They don't seem to have a
Tá
plan B.
segurando, o outro tá ali no...
Especially
Pronto,
with
levou
Cloud
outro.
up here, just
Levou mais
raining
outro, só sobrou
hellfire
dois.
on them. Finds two out of nothing. Backs on down, 5v2, Elevate are flopping.
Cara.
Does feel like the backup plan is non-existent,
Nossa.
doesn't it? Q9, championship point. Elevate, they were poking and prodding at the A defensive setup, and they could not break it. Kendi going down, that was the catalyst for that round falling apart.
It's going to take some courage from Elevate now. They need to find so much more. Mauchi, he can find the first blood onto Susano. Elevate need to find something, but are they running into the wrong guy right now? Mauchi will back down. Elevate in over towards B.
Big kills for Cloud, playing his life. He's got one, now 4v3 on the site.
It all slows down, but Q9 are here. Elevate need to find a way through. They need to dig as deep as possible.
Nossa, 4
Cloud and
todos lá no B.
Co are ready and waiting, but Kendi will find his first kill, and could that be the catalyst as Ling will fall? Bullets starting in the ring, in and around firing range, 3 versus 3, and they may well back down here due Q9.
That's the right decision for Q9. You can hit the regen, you can also retake. We saw Q9 being very proficient at that this tournament. And that is the play call for sure. Elevate, of course, will also drain time off the clock because they don't know that Q9 have backed away from the site. That works against them here. That open line of sight, that's their biggest issue. They have to cross to the bomb or stretch it to get that thing down. If Deixe picks it, it's over.
Who can be the hero?
Zero mole, vamos plantar no
Here
B.
for the side of Elevate. That bomb goes down. 40 seconds, and Q9 have got to find a way in. Elevate just have to defend it.
They've chosen their defensive positions back at the site. 30 seconds left. Q9 are on.
Here we go. They've engaged. They've started to make their move. And is it their move to get their hands on the trophy? Because it may well be Deixe and Cloud. The heir to the throne must always kill the king.
Perceba.
Erling and Q9 will ascend the throne to claim their blood right. The Emperor and his council are the best in the game. And Qingzhou are the Call of Duty Mobile World Champions.
Oh boy, Q9. Insatiable, long have they waited for this moment. Goodness knows how many second place tournaments, the closest they've gotten to a championship of this caliber is the Mobile Masters. But this is the one that they wanted. This is the one that has eluded them for the longest time. $350,000 is theirs. And of course, they are your champions.
Raise that trophy high. They didn't get it done last time, but this time will feel all that sweeter. Q9 indomitable on the World Championship stage for Call of Duty Mobile. They are the best team in the world.
Quero meu cheque. A China, os moleques.
Just absolutely incredible. Qingzhou Q9 your Call of Duty Mobile World Champions for 2025. Oling, let's just have a quick chat. Come with me. Lucia, the wonderful Lucia is here to translate as well. Oling, if you look back to last year, 4-0 defeat. You must have thought about that all year long. You come here, you don't just beat your opponents in Elevate once, you beat them twice. What changed over this last year?
欧林，首先恭喜你拿下了世锦赛的冠军。在去年的世锦赛当中，决赛当中，是被0-4 Elevate 打败的。而今天的比赛当中，你们拿下了他们的胜利，甚至是2次的胜利。而这一年当中，你们做的改变会是什么呢？
其实我想说的是，这一年我们过得并不顺利，我们一直在稳定的进入决赛，但是在此之前，我们总是输掉的那一方。 然后我们一直在去修正自己的问题，然后一直在努力的练习。我想说，这就是我们今天的这个成果，是我们所有人一起努力所得到的。
We've been practicing so hard for the past few years, and for this year, it's been a very tough year for us because we always head into the finals but never get the champs back home. Now it's our chance, and also we train our team and we made so many adjustments this year to make this champion back home.
Well, it paid off, that's for sure. Look, I can tell that you are incredibly emotional and this means so much to you. Just talk me through the feelings that you have right now after lifting this trophy, after all of those second places finishes that you've suffered over recent times.
在刚才你提到的对话过程当中，可以看得出来，在不断的拿下亚军之后，你的心情会有一些低落。但同样，今天可以看到你非常的激动啊，有什么话想要分享吗？
我想说的是，很感谢一直以来支持我们的粉丝，然后在我们一直失利的时候也在支持着我们，所以非常感谢大家。然后这个冠军，我只能说献给 CDM 的所有战队，你们久等了。然后最后我还想说 ，Hey guys, I just want to say, I was the best AR last year, but now I'm the best SMG in the world.
Ninguém entendeu nada que você falou, filho. Por isso que ninguém nem comemorou.
He wanted to say that thanks to all the fans who support Q9, also support CDM region, and also this world champion will be the champion for all the fans who support CDM. And thank you so much.
I love that, guys. Just come a little bit closer to the trophy for this moment. Listen, of course, we have to announce who our MVP is of this entire tournament. I want to say a massive congratulations to every single one of you. You played phenomenally over this weekend, but there could only be one MVP, and it's Oling.
FMVP 是欧林。
And thank you, Puckett, for delivering that medal. Just one more time for us here in Katowice before we go back to the desk. Tremendous congratulations to our Call of Duty Mobile 2025 World Champions. It's Q9.
再次把掌声送给秦九。
What a weekend! What a day! What a series! As Q9 are your Call of Duty Mobile World Champions. And you can see the emotion on all of the players' faces. This is everything they have worked all year for. As they raise that trophy above their heads and officially make their mark in the COD M competitive sphere. Such a deserved moment for Q9. We knew they were going to be a force to be reckoned with all weekend long. And now they have put that bow on the top of the present that is attending World Champs. Proper, I'm gonna start with you. give me your thoughts on our grand final series.
It's about damn time, Lauren. I'll tell you that much. For Q9, Brody put it perfectly as far as the conclusion of this grand finals is concerned. The closest that Q9 ever got was Mobile Masters, but here finally, always the bridesmaid, never the bride, and Uling also said it perfectly, our MVP for the entire event. I mean, he absolutely put on a masterclass all event long. Q9 played their absolute hearts out. This is the best Call of Duty Mobile we've seen them play since the inception.
Brody, talk to me about what it was like going through that series. There were so many back and forth moments, and to be fair, we have to give credit to Elevate as well.
100%. I don't think any other team in the competition, maybe even Q9 to a certain extent, could have come back 2-0 down in a crossfire control in a round 5, have lost the B zone, and then still hold it with just A on the board.
You were losing it.
I mean, yeah, I mean, that's something that never happens as just a fan, and obviously we get to work in the space and be part of Call of Duty Mobile Esports. Moments like that are what makes events like these special, but also what makes it special is the fact that Q9 have made history. Once again, we are denied back-to-back champions. Nobody still has won the World Championship twice, but I mean, this is just so beautiful for Q9 to be here. This is their wedding, as you said, Proper. It is just awesome. So awesome to see Q9 finally get that championship.
Our players not only go home with the cash prize, with the title of best in the world, but they also get to take home the very 1+15 phones that they were playing on. A little added bonus here. I mean, what a cool commemorative moment that is.
I was trying to steal the one that's on the desk. I don't know if we get one, but no, that's really cool, especially to be the ones that they played on, the ones that they got the championship done. I don't know if anyone's ever framed a phone before, but I think they might actually get framed.
This would be the perfect moment to do it. I mean, what a journey for this team, Ton. They fought tooth and nail to make sure they did this.
And I think as well, just immediately coming in from that winner's bracket, when they won that one as convincing as they did, I said myself straight away, I was like, they're going to do it, they're surely going to do it. But to then be able to not just regain and win that 7th map, but to do it in that fashion as well, I mean, you've got to tip the hat. I mean, incredible performance from Q9. My head was out of the venue, never mind theirs, and they're up there playing 4-3 and managing to win it in the way they did. Incredible.
And honestly, Proper, a lot of positives on the side of Elevate to be pulled out of that final series as well, because I think not necessarily questions, but maybe some small concerns after going up against Q9 to start the day with a 3-0.
Yeah, because there was a lot of question marks as far as how they were going to be rectifying some of the mishaps that were happening throughout all those winners finals. And I'll be the one to tell you that it didn't feel like that they learned much of anything coming away from the Coastal Search and the Firing Range Search and Destroy at the same time. The same ammo combination they played in grand finals last year. Same mistakes were coming around, but the adjustments were surely felt as far as the passion is concerned. We were talking about this all weekend long, that sometimes the team that just kind of falls back on that fundamental, just the raw gunny of just double challenging the same thing, taking Uling out of these power positions, stop letting him finesse around certain areas of crossfire, and yeah, you're probably going to be able to walk away with a map win. It's just being able to reconcile that you're not going to be able to be the fastest team on the map when it comes to this Elevate team from time to time. And once they finally conceded space, played a little bit more patient, you got to see how good this team truly was.
I mean, now that it's all said and done, Brody, give me your thoughts on just kind of the whole year, what we saw with the general level of competition in Call of Duty Mobile.
It most certainly has been raised, right? I mean, that's something that we've been talking about all weekend long. Elevate came into 2024, and they really did set the bar higher than we'd ever seen before. They were by far and away the best team in the competition, and the lengths that teams went to, both in their own region and across the globe, to get to that level is huge. And Q9, I think, have proven just how much dedication they have to ensuring that they could reach that level and go well beyond it as well. I just want to say as well, I think it's quite poetic, by the way, that Q9, they don't just win that tournament here full stop. They win it in Search and Destroy, which is something they have been known for. They are the Search and Destroy kings of the world. And I think for them to do it here in Search and Destroy in an indomitable fashion, as you said, it is a beautiful moment.
I mean, Tom, what has it been like for you, obviously following along all year with all of these teams to now have it culminate in this?
It's incredible. I mean, I always just, these big moments, these big international competitions, it's what people love esports for. There's been a couple of big ones today, in absolute fairness. This one right up there for me, that was an incredible thing to see. And it's just always when the stakes are the highest where you get the best competition. And I've been ringing about it all week. As soon as he said it, in that very first interview, he just said, the competition, the level has risen. Everybody is able to bring something to the table. And that's credit to everybody to seeing Elevate last time out and saying, yeah, okay, we know that these guys are the best. Let's try and catch up.